Chapter 577. It's the son of God of the June family. He actually came out of the 19th level of the infernal star. Oh my God, that aura seems to want to destroy my soul. Jun Xiaoyao's arrival undoubtedly ignited the entire atmosphere. It was like a huge rock falling into the sea, causing a huge uproar. It's the son of God of the June family. Deep in the starry sky, Supreme Du Tuo's eyelids trembled slightly when he saw Jun Xiaoyao. He could feel the extreme murderous intent emanating from Jun Xiaoyao, which seemed to freeze all the stars in the sky. What kind of monster is the son of God of the Jun family? His cultivation has reached the saint great perfection. After sensing Jun Xiaoyao's cultivation, even Supreme Du Tuo's face twitched. He was a F**king pervert. With Jun Xiaoyao here, how could there be room for other geniuses to rise? The cultivators around the barren heaven battlefield also felt Jun Xiaoyao's aura, and their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Saint great perfection? Oh my God, terrifying, too terrifying. I thought Jun Xiaoyao would have a hard time against Iguchin, but now it seems that I was overthinking. And I heard that the son of God of the Jun family has cultivated 4 strands of divine qi. He's not human. Saint great perfection and 4 strands of divine qi. If Jun Xiaoyao claimed to be second, who would dare to claim to be first? At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao descended on the barren heaven battlefield like a god of death in white. Behind him, golden-winged rock, Muyuehan, 9-headed lion, goddess of eternal calamity, Xiao Xian and the others followed. They didn't say anything because they knew that Jun Xiaoyao was in a bad mood. When Jun Xiaoyao was in a bad mood, he wanted to kill. If the son of God of the Jun family enters the barren heaven battlefield, won't Long Shu Huang and the others be finished? Who knows, but they definitely won't have an easy time. Some cultivators began to mourn for Long Shu Huang and the others. However, some people believe that with the strength of Long Shu Huang and the others, even if they could not defeat Jun Xiaoyao, they should still be able to escape. However, what puzzled everyone was that Jun Xiaoyao did not rush into the battlefield immediately. Instead, he stood with his hands clasped behind his back, and his eyes were as cold as the abyss. What is the son of God of the Jun family doing? Everyone was astonished. Even utmost exalted Du Tuo felt this to be inconceivable. Could it be that Jun Xiaoyao didn't care about Jiang Xingyi's safety? At this moment, apart from the cold, killing intent in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes, there was also a little helplessness and a sigh. Sister Xingyi, you're too silly. Such a precious divine fetus, yet she had not allowed him to use it. Instead, she had risked her life to protect it, leaving it for him. Jun Xiaoyao knew that it was very difficult for him to fall in love with someone, let alone love someone to death. However, this didn't mean that Jun Xiaoyao was emotionless. Jiang Xingyi had already gone to this extent. How could Jun Xiaoyao remain indifferent? It was because of this that Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were filled with determination. In the next moment, he slowly raised his hand and activated the strength of a perfected saint to the extreme. Waves of sealing runes appeared in the void and spread across the entire barren heaven battlefield. All the cultivators saw that the sealing runes covered the galaxy and spanned across the battlefield. It was like an inverted bowl that was about to seal the entire barren heaven battlefield. Seal of the immortal, 3rd seal. As Jun Xiaoyao finished speaking, the sealing power was completely unleashed. Endless divine light was released, trying to seal the entire barren heaven battlefield. With Jun Xiaoyao's strength after his breakthrough, he could already use the 3rd seal of the immortal seal. This seal was even more powerful than the 2nd seal of the immortal seal. The son of God of the Jun family wants to seal the entire barren heaven battlefield. What is he doing? Seeing Jun Xiaoyao's actions, the countless cultivators present were in an uproar. Since ancient times, no one had ever sealed the barren heaven battlefield like Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao was the first. The son of God of the Jun family, what are you doing? Supreme Du Tuo couldn't help but ask. He was in charge of maintaining order in the barren heaven battlefield. Jun Xiaoyao's actions were undoubtedly breaking the rules. Close the door and kill the dog. Jun Xiaoyao simply uttered those 4 words, yet the murderous intent emanating from his words was hair-raising. The son of God of the Jun family is closing the door and killing the dog. He's not going to let anyone go. At this moment, everyone finally understood Jun Xiaoyao's intentions. He sealed the entire barren heaven battlefield because he didn't want to let anyone who attacked Jiang Xingyi go. Anyone who tried to harm Jiang Xingyi had to die. Ruthless, too ruthless. The son of God of the Jun family is the most ruthless person in the world. Can he do it? Long Xuhuang and the others aren't the only ones dealing with Jiang Xingyi. There are hundreds of powerful cultivators and nearly 1,000 geniuses. Some of the geniuses couldn't help but shudder. Other than the geniuses who were chasing after Jiang Xingyi, there were also some powerful cultivators who were responsible for blocking the geniuses of the Jiang family and the Jun family. If all of them were added together, there would definitely be more than 1,000 of them. Could Jun Xiaoyao kill all of them by himself? Most importantly, these geniuses were the elite seeds of the barren heaven mystic realm. If they all died in the barren heaven battlefield, wouldn't that mean that not many people would be able to step onto the ancient road of ultimate? Shouldn't the son of God of the Jun family restrain himself? Supreme Du Tuo felt a little anxious. If it were an ordinary genius doing this, he would have stopped him long ago. However, the one who did it was the son of God of the Jun family. This made him feel helpless. Don't provoke me, Jun Xiaoyao said coldly. He took a step forward, crossed the void, and stepped into the barren heaven battlefield. Like a lion entering a flock of sheep, he was about to start a massacre. Looking at Jun Xiaoyao's back as he left, all the geniuses felt that something shocking was about to happen. Supreme Du Tuo's face was also extremely stiff. He was the dignified guardian of the Imperial Pass, yet he was ignored like this. However, when he thought of Jun Xiaoyao's identity as the son of God of the Jun family, he could only sigh helplessly. Are the young people nowadays all so immoral? Jun Xiaoyao's actions were too ruthless. He sealed the entire barren heaven battlefield, leaving no way for others to survive. As the entire barren heaven battlefield was enveloped by the 3rd seal of prohibition, the geniuses on the battlefield naturally felt it too. What's going on? Is the barren heaven battlefield going to be sealed in advance? Many geniuses were bewildered. Oh no, I'm afraid the situation has changed. Let's go to Long Xuhuang's side first. Some of the small giants who were attacking the geniuses of the Jiang family and the Jun family also felt that something was wrong. Gu Yin, the successor of the Battle Demon Cave, Tian Yao, the crown prince of the Jin dynasty, and the others all stopped fighting and rushed to Long Xuhuang's side. They felt that some kind of change might have happened. Let's go to Lord Grimm, Jun Lingsong, and Jun Milan. Jiang Luoli, Jiang Tianyin, and the others all followed closely behind. In an instant, almost all the geniuses in the entire barren heaven battlefield gathered towards Long Xuhuang and Jiang Xingyi. At the same time, in the deepest part of the barren heaven battlefield, a vast ancient battlefield, like a giant island, was suspended in the void. 5 dazzling jade seals that emitted the aura of the heavenly way rotated in the air. They were the 5 seals of Proving Way. At this moment, a black-robed figure sat cross-legged on the side with a blood-stained sword on his lap. It was Yi Guqin. When the sealing runes covered the sky above the barren heaven battlefield, Yi Guqin's closed eyes slowly opened. Is it finally here? Yi Guqin's eyes were deep as he looked at the sky. Chapter 578. All the geniuses in the barren heaven battlefield knew that something must have happened. However, they had no idea that Jun Xiaoyao was the one who caused all of that. At this moment, in the depths of the battlefield, Long Xuhuang and the others, who were hunting Jiang Xingyi, also felt that something was wrong. What's with that sealing power? Is the barren heaven battlefield going to be closed in advance? No matter what, let's get the divine fetus first. Long Xuhuang and the others had made such a big move to get the divine fetus. No unforeseen event could interrupt their plan. Damn it, this woman is so stubborn. The descendant of the crocodile ancestors' face darkened. Jiang Xingyi's willpower was too strong. Even though she was suppressed by the three of them, she still fought with all her might. She used all the trump cards of the Jiang family, along with the 3 strands of divine qi and the Khanate embryo. It would be troublesome for them to suppress her in a short time. At this moment, Long Xuhuang suddenly thought of something and said, Jiang Xingyi, I remember that you're Jun Xiaoyao's aunt. TSK, this relationship. Shut up. Jiang Xingyi heard this, and her emotions were stirred. Even her breathing became unstable. Before this, no matter what Long Xuhuang said, she wouldn't care. Her mind was firm. But when this was mentioned, Jiang Xingyi couldn't calm down. This wasn't a taboo thing, and she wasn't related to Jun Xiaoyao by blood. But if word got out, she would be criticized. Haha, Jun Xiaoyao's charm is really strong. Even his aunt can't resist it. Seeing this, Long Xuhuang's eyes flashed, and she continued to attack with obscenities. No matter how firm Jiang Xingyi's mind was, she was still a woman. She had already endured too much. How despicable. In the distance, even Yen Rumeng, Ji Qingyi, and the others frowned. Disgust flashed in their eyes. Long Xuhuang's methods were indeed despicable and didn't match her status as a genius. Jiang Xingyi's unstable state of mind was immediately caught by Long Xuhuang and the others. Dragon Phoenix, Sky-Flipping Seal. The Dragon Illusionary Phoenix activated its ultimate move once again. A huge Dragon Phoenix seal appeared in the sky, bringing with it the might of 3 streaks of immortal qi as it came crashing down. Immortal Heavenly Phoenix slash. Huang Juyin slashed down with her Phoenix Featherblade. A crimson blade light that was tens of thousands of feet long slashed down like the wings of a divine phoenix. Savage Desolation Art. The crocodile ancestors' descendant also unleashed a powerful attack. Murderous aura overflowed into the heavens as he attacked. Boom, boom, boom. The sound of violent vibrations pierced everyone's eardrums. Sister Xingyi. In the distance, a blood-like cry of a cuckoo rang out. Jiang Luoli and the others had arrived. I'm too late. Lord Grimm and the others also arrived. Their expressions were grave. Of course, Guyen, the successor of the Battle Demon Cave, and the crown prince of the Jin dynasty had also rushed over. In the endless smoke and dust, the sound of coughing blood could be heard. As the smoke and dust dissipated, Jiang Xingyi's figure appeared before everyone's eyes. Her snow-white robe was stained with blood, and her fair chin was also dripping with blood. Cracks began to appear on her sparkling and translucent skin. She was like an exquisite porcelain that was beginning to crack. After taking 3 powerful moves from Long Xuhuang and the others, coupled with her unstable state of mind, Jiang Xingyi had suffered an unprecedented injury. She coughed up blood again, spitting out broken organs. Jiang Xingyi's heart meridians were directly shattered. If it weren't for the tenacity of a saint's vitality, Jiang Xingyi's physical body would have been destroyed. At this moment, the power of the Khanate Dao embryo in Jiang Xingyi's body surged, as if it wanted to attract some kind of power. Suddenly, a crystalline divine fetus was pulled out of the spatial artifact by the power of the Khanate Dao embryo. This divine fetus was incomparably clear, as if it contained a universe with dazzling galaxies, intertwining immortal Dao laws and surging immortal qi. When this divine fetus appeared, Long Xuhuang and the others' eyes burned with passion, and even their breathing quickened. A divine fetus. At the very least, it was the energy source left behind by a remnant immortal. If refined, no matter how bad it was, it could cultivate 2 or 3 strands of immortal qi. This would be extremely beneficial for the future expedition on the ancient road of ultimate. The Khanate Dao embryo had pulled the divine fetus out for Jiang Xingyi to refine. If Jiang Xingyi refined the divine fetus, not only would she be able to completely recover from her injuries, but her cultivation would also skyrocket, and she would be able to kill Long Xuhuang and the others. No, no, this divine fetus is for Xiaoyao. Jiang Xingyi continued coughing up blood and the blood dripped onto the divine fetus. She held the divine fetus tightly with one hand. This was her gift to Jun Xiaoyao. Seeing this scene, even the passers-by who were watching the show couldn't help but reveal moved expressions on their faces. Sister Xingyi, tears welled up in Jiang Luoli's eyes. Now, she didn't want to be jealous or envious. She only wanted Jiang Xingyi to survive this calamity. Kill, take the divine fetus. Long Xu Huang and the other's eyes were red. The three of them attacked again, suppressing Jiang Xingyi. Jiang Luoli, Jiang Tenyan, Lord Grimm, Junling Cong, Xiao Maxian, and the others all came to her aid. However, they were stopped by Gu Yin, the successor of Battle Demon Cave, the crown prince of the Jin dynasty, and other minor giants. There were more than 100 minor giants present. How terrifying was this number? Many of them had joined because they disliked Jun Xiaoyao. After all, Jun Xiaoyao had casually killed the sea god's third prince, the Void Sword Master, and the others. They were all prodigies from the ancient star field. Subconsciously, they all thought of Jun Xiaoyao as a lofty person who looked down on the ancient star field's prodigies like pigs and dogs. However, that was indeed the truth. Jun Xiaoyao did indeed see them as pigs and dogs. Splat! Blood flowed. Not only was Jiang Xingyi's snow-white robe stained with blood, but even her snow-white hair was dyed red. Jiang Xingyi, why are you so stubborn? Are you really willing to give up your life for this divine fetus? Feng Jiuyin shouted coldly. She held the supreme artifact phoenix feather blade and slashed down at Jiang Xingyi, who was no longer able to resist. Jiang Xingyi's delicate body cracked, and her physical body was about to collapse. If Feng Jiuyin's blade landed, Jiang Xingyi's body and primordial spirit would definitely be cut in half. However, Jiang Xingyi's lips curled into a blood-stained smile. I miss you so much that I will die 9 times for you without regret. Jiang Xingyi felt her vision blur. After being hunted for so long, she really wanted to rest and sleep. At this moment, a gentle voice with a hint of a sigh slowly rang in Jiang Xingyi's ears. Sister Xingyi, why are you so silly? Am I hallucinating? Jiang Xingyi's mind was groggy. She felt her delicate body being pulled into a warm embrace. A sense of peace that she had never felt before flowed in her heart, like a drifting boat returning to the harbor. Sister Xingyi, it's okay. Leave the rest to me. Chapter 579. At this moment, the entire barren heaven battlefield was dead silent. Time and space seemed to have frozen. All the sounds seemed to have disappeared. Everyone's eyes fell on the white-robed figure that had appeared. He was like an immortal white-robed god, crossing the void and arriving here. Huang Juyan's full-powered attack was casually caught by the figure with 2 fingers. His other arm was wrapped around the beautiful woman in blood-stained, snow-white clothes. Shocked expressions slowly appeared on the faces of all the geniuses. Jun Xiaoyao. It's the son of God of the Jun family. Countless shocked exclamations rang out from all directions. Everyone was shocked and took a deep breath. Jun Xiaoyao, Long Xu Huang, and the others were also shocked. They did not expect Jun Xiaoyao to come out of the 19th level of hell. They did not expect him to arrive at the barren heaven battlefield so quickly. Jun Xiaoyao, Huang Juyan, was also shocked. His attack, which he had unleashed with all his might, was caught between 2 fingers by Jun Xiaoyao. One had to know that it was a supreme weapon. With the addition of his own strength, an ordinary saint would be split in half. However, Jun Xiaoyao blocked the attack with 2 fingers. Then, Huang Juyan's expression suddenly froze, because he saw the look in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes. As cold as ice, as cold as the abyss. That cold, murderous intent seemed to be able to freeze the void for thousands of miles. Dying. Jun Xiaoyao's words were like the judgment of the heavens. Vast divine power, accompanied by the power of the universe's origin, surged out of Jun Xiaoyao's body. Boom! Terrifying divine might burst, and the phoenix feather blade, which was a supreme weapon, crumbled inch by inch under Jun Xiaoyao's finger. The remaining force did not diminish and directly bombarded Huang Juyan. Huang Juyan's entire body was drowned in the vast divine light. Ah! A shrill scream was heard. Huang Juyan's body exploded into pieces, and a bloody mist filled the sky. She had defeated Huang Juyan in one move. The surrounding geniuses were stupefied. Their souls were trembling, and their scalps were about to explode. Huang Juyan, who had cultivated 3 strands of immortal qi, was actually unable to withstand a single blow from Jun Xiaoyao. Xiaoyao Gij. Xiaoyao, Lord Son of God, Young Master, Jiang Luoli, Lord Grim, Junling Song, Yin Qingying, Yu, and the others were all excited. In the eyes of the enemy, Jun Xiaoyao was the Grim Reaper. In their eyes, he was the savior of the world. Xiaoyao, you're finally here. This is for you. Jiang Shengyi, who was held in Jun Xiaoyao's arms, smiled through his blood-stained lips. The person she had been longing for had finally arrived. Jun Xiaoyao had never disappointed anyone. She held the divine fetus, which was stained with her blood, and pushed it toward Jun Xiaoyao. There was a satisfied smile on her blood-stained face. Her body was about to collapse, and she was severely injured. Jiang Shengyi's first thought was to give the divine fetus to Jun Xiaoyao. Even someone as indifferent as Jun Xiaoyao was slightly touched at this moment. Sister Shengyi, let me take care of these bastards first. Jun Xiaoyao reached out to wipe away the blood on Jiang Shengyi's face. Jiang Shengyi nodded slightly. She, who was heavily injured, finally could not take it anymore and fainted. The black hair on Jun Xiaoyao's forehead covered his eyes. The woman in his arms had turned white overnight because of him. In order to give the divine fetus to him, so that he could become stronger, she was willing to be hunted down and injured, rather than refine the divine fetus. Jun Xiaoyao felt that this was too much, and all he could do was for Jiang Shengyi, massacre the world. A terrifying and boundless aura spread out from Jun Xiaoyao's body. The aura of a saint at the peak of the great perfection covered the entire area. Heaven and earth shook, and the stars trembled. Many geniuses felt suffocated just by feeling this aura. Their bodies were about to be pressed to the ground. The son of God of the Jun family is actually a saint at the peak of the great perfection. This is too terrifying. In all directions, cries of shock rose and fell one after another. Jun Xiaoyao, Long Xuhuang's expression changed drastically. Sensing this aura, his Taoist heart became unstable. No, I have the invincible dragon phoenix body. I will not lose, Long Xuhuang said to himself, gritting his teeth. The ferocious aura of the descendant of the crocodile ancestor was also suppressed by Jun Xiaoyao's vast aura. He seemed to have turned from an ancient ferocious beast into a small insect. How is this possible? The descendant of the crocodile ancestor could not believe that Jun Xiaoyao's strength had reached such a terrifying level. At this moment, Huang Juyan, who had been beaten into a bloody mist, suddenly recovered in a burst of violent flames. It's the Phoenix Life technique. Some genius's eyes flashed. Huang Juyan cultivated the Phoenix Life technique and could be reborn in a desperate situation 9 times. This was an extremely monstrous technique. Jun Xiaoyao's move had helped Huang Juyan to undergo the last nirvana. However, after being reborn in the flames, Huang Juyan did not have the slightest hint of joy on his face. His face was as pale as paper, and there was still a trace of fear in his eyes. Just now, he was like an ant in Jun Xiaoyao's hands. He had been casually crushed without any resistance. That feeling was like facing the vast heavens. Even if Huang Juyan had undergone nirvana 9 times, his bloodline had transformed, and his strength had increased tremendously. But he felt that he was still an ant in front of Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao, do you think you can deal with all of us by yourself? Long Xuhuang shouted coldly. He wanted to pull all the geniuses of the small powerhouses onto his boat. Jun Xiaoyao did not say a word. The entire barren heaven battlefield fell into an eerie silence. But it was this silence that was even more suffocating. Sweat appeared on the foreheads of Long Xuhuang and the others. Clearly, their hearts were not calm. Finally, Jun Xiaoyao slowly raised a hand. A terrifying power that could destroy the world was surging out. Jun Xiaoyao did not say anything to Long Xuhuang and the others, because at this point, all ruthless words seemed pale and powerless. Blood and slaughter were the only things that could quell Jun Xiaoyao's rage. In Jun Xiaoyao's body, the power of the universe's origin surged out from the god's origin. At the same time, the power of sin surged. Light and darkness, the two powers, intertwined, fused, and gathered in Jun Xiaoyao's hands. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao was like a god of creation and destruction, God's light and God's punishment. The two great Tao of origin abilities merged in his hands and burst forth with unprecedented power. Light of the three realms, I bestow life. With a thought, darkness, the world will fall. Jun Xiaoyao hugged the unconscious Jiang Xingyi with one hand and raised his other hand high. The power of the two great Tao of origin abilities merged into one in his hands and burst forth with the power of destruction. Jun Xiaoyao covered the sky with one hand and destroyed everything. Boom! An indescribable wave of destruction spread out with Jun Xiaoyao as the origin. It was as if 100 nuclear bombs had exploded at the same time, or as if thousands of stars had exploded at the same time. The surrounding ground caved in, and thick cracks spread in all directions like canyons. None of them could escape from this apocalyptic wave. Jun Xiaoyao's anger caused the world to sink and all living beings to die. Chapter 580. This destructive wave was like fate. No one could escape from it. However, this power was under Jun Xiaoyao's control. Within this destructive wave, whoever he wanted to live would live. Whoever he wanted to die would die. No! Long Xuhuang and the others let out earth-shattering roars. They pushed their strength to the extreme. Long Xuhuang activated her ancestral dragon and divine phoenix bloodlines with all her might and unleashed a powerful move. Huang Juyin also let out a long roar and used her ultimate move. The descendant of the crocodile ancestor revealed his true form and turned into a fierce crocodile covered in scales. He also used his full strength. Not only them, but all the geniuses who had participated in this encirclement plan were also resisting with all their might. There were also the small giants of the ancient star zone, such as Guyan, the successor of the Battle Demon Cave, and the crown prince of the Jin dynasty. They all used all their trump cards and tried their best to resist this destructive wave. But it was useless. Jun Xiaoyao's all-out attack was extremely terrifying. One had to know that Jun Xiaoyao had almost never used his full strength when fighting with others. Even when dealing with Yufuzi and the others, Jun Xiaoyao had only used 40% of his strength and killed them easily. Now, however, Jun Xiaoyao had unleashed all of his powers due to his extreme rage. He even used the two fused divine abilities of the great Tao of origin. Who will be able to block such power? Not to mention saints. Even saint kings would have their bodies and primordial spirits exploded when facing Jun Xiaoyao's destructive move. The destructive wave swept across the entire barren heaven battlefield like a wild wave. Not only the barren heaven battlefield, but even all the geniuses outside the barren heaven battlefield who were watching felt a terrifying power that made their scalps tingle and their bodies tremble. What kind of power is that? Could it be that there are some ancient, strong cultivators sleeping in the barren heaven battlefield? Some cultivators were shocked, thinking that some ancient, strong cultivators had awakened. As for Supreme Du Tuo, after sensing this power, he also took a deep breath. There was deep shock in his eyes. The son of God of the Jun family sure is generous. Du Tuo felt a headache coming on. When the barren heaven battlefield ended, who knew how many geniuses would be able to make it out alive? Closing the door and killing the dog was too ruthless. At that moment, in the barren heaven battlefield, Jun Xiaoyao's one move had sunk almost half of the desolate heaven battlefield. Previously, Jun Xiaoyao had used this move to pierce through Hell's Star. From this, it could be seen how powerful this move was. Whether it was Long Xuhuang, Huang Juyin, or the descendants of the crocodile ancestor, or Guyan, the successor of the Battle Demon Cave, were the crown prince of the Jin dynasty. None of them were able to block this move. Their bodies shattered inch by inch in the destructive fluctuations. No matter how they resisted, it was difficult for them to survive. Jun Xiaoyao, aren't you afraid that Zulong and Wanhuang Spirit Mountain will start an immortal war if you kill us? The dragon phoenix struggled and shouted angrily. As the dragon phoenix body that had been carefully cultivated by the two forces, if he died, it would definitely cause a huge commotion. Don't worry, they're already waiting for you in the Yellow Spring, Jun Xiaoyao said coldly. What? His words shocked many geniuses. Their eyelids twitched. What did Jun Xiaoyao mean? What is the meaning of this? Long Xuhuang shouted as she struggled with all her might. The immortal war has ended long ago. The four Archean royalty no longer exists. Jun Xiaoyao's words made everyone fall silent. Many people were stunned and in disbelief. Of course, a small number of geniuses had vaguely heard some news, but they couldn't be sure. Now it seemed that the truth was indeed so. No, impossible. You are shaking my Dao heart. Long Xuhuang roared, not daring to believe this. How could the four Archean royalty all be destroyed? Huang Juyin and the descendant of the crocodile ancestor also couldn't believe it. However, it didn't matter whether they believed it or not. Jun Xiaoyao didn't want to waste time talking nonsense with them. He activated his divine power to the extreme and merged the two great paths of origin. The power was beyond Jun Xiaoyao's imagination. In the end, when Jun Xiaoyao stopped, the ground within a 10,000-mile radius was sunk. Countless cracks spread like canyons. As for the dragon phoenix and the others, they no longer existed. They were annihilated by this move. The three Archean royalty geniuses weren't the only ones. More than 100 giants, including Guyan, the descendant of the Battle Demon Cave, the crown prince of the Tianyao Jin dynasty, were also crushed. There were also nearly 1,000 powerful geniuses from the ancient star zone. They couldn't have survived. They all exploded into blood mist and drifted in the air. A blood-red wind blew across the entire barren heaven battlefield. It was the residual blood floating in the air. At this moment, all the remaining geniuses felt a chill run down their spines. It was as if their bodies were soaked in a bone-chilling, icy spring. They asked themselves, if Jun Xiaoyao's move was an indiscriminate attack, wouldn't they be in hell right now? Thinking of this, all the geniuses felt a chill run down their spines. Oh my God, one move, just one move, and the three Archean royalty geniuses, more than 100 giants and nearly 1,000 geniuses are all dead. Those 100 giants were all saints. I can't believe they were killed by the son of God of the Jun family in one move. This is a record, isn't it? The voices of the geniuses from the barren heaven mystic realm were trembling. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. The news of Jun Xiaoyao killing 100 saints with one cauldron was not spread in the Emperor Road. However, all the geniuses had witnessed this scene with their own eyes. What you hear may be false, but what you see is true. What was happening in front of them was the most shocking. Even someone as scheming as Ji Qing took in a deep breath. She had already thought highly of Jun Xiaoyao. However, Jun Xiaoyao's improvement in strength had exceeded her expectations. Now, Ji Qing was glad that she had been cautious. Fortunately, she had not attacked Jiang Xingyi. She believed that if she had attacked him, she would have been in grave danger. There was no way Jun Xiaoyao would go easy on her just because she was a beautiful woman. Now, do you still have doubts? Ji Qingyi asked Chun Fei, who was beside her. Chun Fei didn't say anything, and her face was slightly pale. To be honest, she was also stunned by Jun Xiaoyao's ruthless methods. He had killed 1,000 geniuses with one move, including more than 100 saints. What kind of strength was that? Furthermore, the aura emanating from Jun Xiaoyao when he arrived earlier made her feel that he was even more sacred than her master. However, Chun Fei immediately bit her lip. She believed that if her master used his full strength, he would not be weaker than Jun Xiaoyao. After Jun Xiaoyao killed the group of enemies with one move, he turned his attention to Jiang Xingyi. Jiang Xingyi was severely injured. His body was cracked, and his crystal-clear skin was full of cracks. His heart meridian was also shattered. This kind of injury was not good for a man, let alone a woman like Jiang Xingyi. Although Jiang Xingyi had a connate Taoist embryo, the strengths of the connate Taoist embryo were in Tao comprehension, divine powers, dermic powers, and so on. It did not have much of a boost to the physical body. Therefore, Jiang Xingyi's physical injuries were very serious. Jun Xiaoyao took out many supreme divine pills and precious medicines. He even took out more than one of the rare elixirs of immortality and refined them into Jiang Xingyi's body. However, Jiang Xingyi's situation was still not optimistic. Jun Xiaoyao frowned slightly. Then, without hesitation, he used his fingers as a sword and cut his wrist. Drops of golden sacred blood dripped into Jiang Xingyi's cherry lips. Chapter 581. Jun Xiaoyao's body had the potential to become an emperor. Every drop of blood contained the power of creation and endless vitality. If an ordinary prodigy refined a drop of Jun Xiaoyao's blood, he would become a monstrous body-tempering prodigy. Even Jun Xiaoyao himself thought that he had become Tang Sanzang's flesh. From this, it could be seen how precious Jun Xiaoyao's flesh and blood were. Jun Xiaoyao's expression did not change. He cut his wrist, and the precious blood flowed into Jiang Xingyi's cherry lips. Some of the surrounding geniuses looked on with fervent eyes. Jun Xiaoyao's saint blood was no weaker than a great creation. If they could obtain it, their bodies would definitely be able to reach a higher level. However, at this moment, no one was stupid enough to have such thoughts. Jiang Luoli and the others also gathered around. She looked at Jun Xiaoyao with her big eyes, her eyes filled with endless longing and longing. She had not seen Jun Xiaoyao for a long time. Given her personality, she would have given Jun Xiaoyao a big hug and latched onto him like an octopus when they finally met after such a long time apart. But now, as he looked at the unconscious and miserable Jiang Xingyi, he couldn't help but sigh. Looking at Jun Xiaoyao, who was cutting his wrist and feeding Jiang Xingyi with his saint blood, Jiang Luoli suddenly felt that she was a little redundant. Jiang Luoli, who had always been lively, was silent. She just stood by the side silently. The person she missed was so close, but she could not hug him. Xiaoyao, you're finally here. Lord Grimm and the others went forward to greet him. At the same time, they also looked at Jun Xiaoyao in surprise. Jun Xiaoyao's strength shocked even Lord Grimm. Even someone as powerful as him would have had a hard time dealing with Jun Xiaoyao at the moment. Master, Yin, Qingying, Yu, and the others went forward and cupped their hands. There was also a hint of admiration in their eyes. Their master was getting stronger and stronger. The two of them felt honored. Princess Longji bit her lip, her expression complicated. She recalled that when she had just broken the seal and entered the world, she had only regarded Jun Xiaoyao as an ordinary heavenly son of the generation. Who would have thought that Jun Xiaoyao would grow to such a terrifying level? Even she, the princess of the dragon clan, could only look up at his back. I thought that I would be able to catch up to him if I stepped onto the Emperor Road ahead of time. In the end, as proud as Princess Longji was, she was completely impressed. She had no choice but to admit defeat. It's still not enough, Jun Xiaoyao frowned. His sacred blood could help Jiang Xingyi recover from his physical injuries. However, it was unable to completely eradicate her hidden dangers. In this way, even if Jiang Xingyi recovered in the future, there would be a huge problem with his physical body, which would affect his Tao attainment in the future. Jiang Xingyi did this for Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao would never allow Jiang Xingyi to have any side effects. Perhaps I can merge this divine fetus into Sister Xingyi's body, Jun Xiaoyao murmured. With his monstrous talent, the divine fetus was just icing on the cake. At this moment, Jiang Luoli heard this and hesitated for a while. She bit her lip and said, Brother Xiaoyao, Sister Xingyi did this to keep the divine fetus. If you do this, won't Sister Xingyi's efforts be in vain? I believe that when Sister Xingyi wakes up, she will definitely not want to see the divine fetus fused with her. This is her intention. Jun Xiaoyao was stunned by Jiang Luoli's words. He suddenly realized that this delicate and cute girl had matured a lot. Of course, it was only in terms of thinking. Her appearance was still the same as before. It was as if she had become a legal lowly. That's right, little brother Xiaoyao. If you do this, won't you be letting down Jiang Xingyi's intentions? Xiao Maxian also jumped up and said. She looked at Jun Xiaoyao with sparkling eyes. Her decision to form a relationship with Jun Xiaoyao was simply too correct. That's true, Jun Xiaoyao said. Then he sent someone to call Xiao Xian, and the others over from the edge of the barren heaven battlefield. While they were waiting, a discordant voice suddenly sounded. You are the son of God of the Jun family. You are indeed, as the rumors say. You have some ability. Many people were surprised when they heard this voice. These words seemed to be praising Jun Xiaoyao, but they felt that they were disdainful and condescending. Everyone looked over and saw that it was a girl in a red dress beside Ji Qingyi. Who is that girl? How dare she speak to the son of God of the Jun family in such a tone? Shoo, I heard that this girl is the follower of one of the outlawed sky prides. I see. No wonder she is so confident. Some people clicked their tongues. Not everyone could be called an outlawed sky pride. A true outlawed sky pride had to be at least a boundary emperor. This meant that if an outlawed sky pride did not die, they would at least reach the boundary emperor realm in the future. In fact, strictly speaking, Jun Xiaoyao was already qualified to be called an outlawed sky pride. Chen Feiyu, Ji Qingyi's eyes flashed. She did not expect Chen Fei to act on her own. Jun Xiaoyao ignored Chen Fei's words. His attention was now focused on Jiang Xingyi's body. He was using his sacred blood to sustain her body. He did not have the time to care about some random person. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao ignoring her, Chen Fei's expression changed slightly. As a follower of a taboo successor, she was respected everywhere. Although Jun Xiaoyao was powerful, he could not ignore her like this. Son of God of the Jun family, since you don't want to use the divine fetus, why don't you give it to my master? My master will definitely think highly of you. He might even make you his right-hand man. Chen Fei's words stunned many sky prides at the scene. Chen Fei's master was a terrifying and powerful outlawed sky pride in the future. However, Jun Xiaoyao was not a pushover either. His status and strength were definitely not weaker than that taboo successor. What was the meaning of asking Jun Xiaoyao to be that successor's right-hand man? Did this girl get kicked in the head by a donkey? Who knows? Those followers all think that their master is the strongest. It's normal for them to look down on other sky prides. Sounds of discussion could be heard from all directions. However, most of them were mocking Chen Fei, thinking that she was overestimating herself. Chen Fei's expression darkened when she heard the surrounding sky prides mocking. How dare you? Who do you think you are? Who does your master think he is? Yan Qingying yelled coldly and released her killing intent. In her mind, no one could be compared to Jun Xiaoyao. I'm just telling the truth. You'll definitely benefit a lot if you can form a good relationship with my master, Chen Fei said lightly. Yan Qingying could not hold it in any longer. Her beautiful eyes were cold, like a dark queen. She attacked. The fallen wings on her back flapped as she activated the devouring god demonic technique and attacked Chen Fei directly. Chen Fei's expression changed. She did not expect Jun Xiaoyao's follower to attack her. Two streaks of immortal qi appeared on the surface of her body. Yan Qingying did the same. Boom! After dozens of exchanges, Yan Qingying used the devouring god demonic technique to suppress Chen Fei. She was going to refine her alive. No, you can't kill me. If you kill me, you'll be tainted with great karma. My master won't let you go. Chen Fei screamed. She did not expect Jun Xiaoyao's follower to be so powerful. In the end, Chen Fei's body was crushed, ground, and devoured by the devouring vortex. The sacred body of the ancients is shackled by the heavens. You can't attain enlightenment. You're destined to be a supporting character for my master. Chen Fei let out a final scream of resentment. Then, she was completely refined into a ball of pure flesh and blood energy by Yan Qingying. Ji Qingyi, who was watching from the side, had no intention of helping at all. Chapter 582. Logically speaking, Ji Qing Yi was also the assistant of the mysterious successor of the human immortal sect. She should have helped Chun Fei. At the very least, she should have protected her life. However, Ji Qing Yi did not do that. Jun Xiaoyao's attention was focused on Jiang Xingyi the entire time. He did not even bother with Chun Fei. However, Ji Qing Yi believed that if she really intervened and protected Chun Fei, there was no doubt that Jun Xiaoyao would crush him with lightning speed, or even kill him. Ji Qing Yi had hidden her intentions well. Naturally, she would not do such a stupid thing. After killing Chun Fei, Yin Qingying turned around and knelt on one knee before Jun Xiaoyao. She cupped her fists and said, "I'm sorry, young master. I was too impulsive. I might have offended a terrifying person because of this. Please punish me." Yin Qingying knew that the outlawed sky pride behind Chun Fei was definitely not an ordinary person. Even Jun Xiaoyao might have trouble dealing with him. Jun Xiaoyao finally said, "She's just courting death. It has nothing to do with you. As for the person behind her, I don't care." Jun Xiaoyao's tone was low. He was not in a good mood. There should be some fish that escaped from the encirclement and did not come here. "I'll have to trouble you to kill them," Jun Xiaoyao said. "Could it be that sealing power is—" Xiao Maxian covered her mouth in disbelief. "That's right. I set it up. Don't even think about escaping." Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were as cold as ice. Many of the sky prides around felt a chill in their hearts. Messing with Jun Xiaoyao meant that there was no way out for him. The situation was indeed as Jun Xiaoyao had imagined. Some of the sky prides and minor figureheads who had participated in the encirclement did not appear here. They were frantically running away, trying to leave the desolate heaven battlefield. However, when they reached the edge, they encountered the third forbidden immortal seal. "What kind of sealing rune is this? Get out. I want to get out. Let me out." That Jun Xiaoyao is a demon. No, he's even more terrifying than a demon. Many of the ancient star fields, sky prides, and little tycoons were shouting in panic. Their minds were about to collapse. Jun Xiaoyao's power was too terrifying. He had killed hundreds of sages and thousands of sky prides with one strike. It was like the arrival of the Grim Reaper. Azura exited seclusion. However, no matter what they did, they could not break the third seal. Looking at those struggling and roaring geniuses on the battlefield, the cultivators outside the battlefield felt a chill run down their spines. What did the divine child of the Jun family do to anger the heavens and the people? Why would it cause such a reaction? Some of the cultivators outside were still unaware of the situation. Following that, Lord Grimm, Jiang Tianyin, and the rest of the geniuses from the two clans began to slaughter the fleeing geniuses. Anyone who participated in the encirclement and suppression plan, even if they were just here to join in the fun, none of them would be left alive. They were all killed. The entire barren heaven battlefield was littered with corpses, and the ground was dyed red with blood. It could be said that the barren heaven battlefield this time, it was bloodier and crueler than any of the previous ones. And the source of the bloodshed? It was Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao was angry? Corpses were everywhere. Sigh, with so many dead geniuses, the barren heaven mystic realm will probably be in chaos again. But with the means of the Jun family, the Jiang family, and the Jun Emperor's Hall, it will only be a small disturbance. Du Tuo looked at the bloody scene in front of him and shook his head slightly. Even if the other geniuses were capable, they would not dare to kill so wantonly. Only Jun Xiaoyao had the confidence to be so presumptuous without any scruples about the consequences. Not long after, Xiao Xian, and the others arrived. As soon as they arrived, Jun Xiaoyao said to Xiao Xian, "Let out your blood." "WH, what?" Xiao Xian looked dazed. "Cut your wrists," Jun Xiaoyao said. Xiao Xian immediately cried. Celestial spiritual liquid kept flowing out of her eyes. "Big brother, are you going to eat me? What did I do wrong?" "Boo-hoo," Xiao Xian cried and said. "I will compensate you with the qi of all creation when the time comes," Jun Xiaoyao said. "Really?" Xiao Xian only stopped crying when the qi of all creation was mentioned. Tears stained her eyelashes. For her, the qi of all creation was very attractive. Under Jun Xiaoyao's soft and hard attacks, Xiao Xian still let out her blood. Her blood was not red. Instead, it was sparkling and translucent. It emitted a fragrance that made people who smelled it feel as if they were floating in the air. Jun Xiaoyao's sacred blood and Xiao Xian, blood, the king of immortal marrow. No matter how serious Jiang Xingyi's physical injuries were, he recovered. But this is still not enough. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly. With such a rescue, Jiang Xingyi's life was not in danger, but there would be hidden injuries in his physical body, which would be detrimental to his cultivation in the future. Thinking of this, Jun Xiaoyao pondered for a moment. Then he suddenly used his fingers as a sword and cut open his chest. Brother Xiaoyao. Seeing this scene, Jiang Luoli's little face turned pale. The others were also moved. In Jun Xiaoyao's chest, in addition to the sparkling bone of supremacy, there was also a beating heart. The heart of the sacred body of the ancients. Jun Xiaoyao's body trembled slightly, and drops of sacred body blood essence condensed. This sacred body blood essence was not the same as the sacred blood from before. Sacred body blood essence could only be condensed in the heart of a sacred body. This was the source of the vast qi and blood essence of a sacred body. After forcing out more than 10 drops of sacred body blood essence, even with Jun Xiaoyao's strength, his face was slightly pale and his lips were as white as paper. Of course, this was only temporary. Jun Xiaoyao's physical body was almost flawless, and he had the physique of an emperor. It would not be long before his sacred body blood essence was condensed again. However, when this scene fell into the eyes of the others, they were extremely shocked. He cut open his chest and forced out the sacred body blood essence in his heart. What kind of sacrifice was this? However, Jun Xiaoyao's face did not show any trace of pain. His eyes were as calm as water, as if he had just done something insignificant. He would not lick any woman. However, this was what he should do as a man. Brother Xiaoyao. Jiang Luoli's heart clenched as she watched from the side, her eyes filled with tears. At this moment, she suddenly felt a little envious of Jiang Xingyi. If the person who fell was me, would Brother Xiaoyao save me like this? Jiang Luoli said to herself. The sacred body blood essence was refined into Jiang Xingyi's body and finally gathered in his heart. With this, Jiang Xingyi's body would slowly recover. Not only would it not leave any sequelae, but it would also make up for the shortcomings of Jiang Xingyi's physical body. In the future, Jiang Xingyi's physical body might not be comparable to the sacred body of the ancients, but it would definitely surpass most of the body-refining geniuses. Jiang Xingyi's injuries were stabilized. Jun Xiaoyao also breathed a sigh of relief. To him, even if he killed thousands of geniuses with one move, if anything happened to Jiang Xingyi, he would still feel guilty. And now, he could finally put his heart at ease. However, when this news spread out of the barren heaven battlefield, it caused a shocking storm. Chapter 583. Many of the geniuses that Jun Xiaoyao had killed had powerful backgrounds. All of them were heroes of their respective ancient star zones. Even though the Archean royalty behind Long Xuhuang and the others had been destroyed. But when the forces of the ancient star zones behind those geniuses joined forces, they were still an extremely terrifying force. After such a bloody massacre on the barren heaven battlefield, even the guardian of Hanga Pass, Supreme Du Tuo, couldn't hide it. He could only tell the truth and send the news back to the Huangtian mystic realm. Otherwise, if he continued to hide it, it would cause even greater waves. As expected, when the news was sent back to the Huangtian mystic realm, it undoubtedly caused a huge commotion. This time, Jun Xiaoyao didn't kill 1 or 2 people, or more than a dozen people. It was thousands of geniuses. Among them, there were more than 100 small giants. When the forces behind these people joined forces, they could even shake the entire Huangtian mystic realm. It's too hateful. My son died so easily. The son of God of the Jun family is too ruthless. The ruler of the Jin dynasty roared angrily. It was the emperor of the Tianyao Jin dynasty. The successor of the battle demon cave has also died. The son of God of the Jun family is too overbearing. That's right. The talents of the Tianfeng ancient star zone have also died. This hatred must be avenged. Previously, the Jun family also destroyed the ancient Sea King star zone and killed the Sword Master of the Void. They don't take us seriously at all. Many forces of the ancient star zones around the Huangtian mystic realm expressed their anger. Although the Emperor's court had destroyed the ancient Sea King star zone before, many forces were shocked. But now, it wasn't just one or two forces who were dissatisfied. It was a large group of forces of the ancient star zones who were dissatisfied. However, before these forces of the ancient star zones could unite, there was movement in the Huangtian mystic realm. More than 10 imperial weapons rose into the sky. The Emperor's Mirror, the Earth Emperor's Book, the Emperor's Brush, and the other 3 imperial weapons. There were also the Pan Huang Sword, the Kylan Wheel, the Phoenix Wing Golden Centipede, the 6 Paths of Reincarnation Disc, the Neptune's Trident, and other imperial weapons. Waves of majestic imperial might swept across the Huangtian mystic realm and pressed towards the surrounding ancient star zones. On the Emperor's Road, life and death do not matter. Your descendants are all trash. It is already an honor for you to be killed by the Son of God. How dare you be dissatisfied? In the Jun family, an old man stepped forward and stood in the sky. Chaotic chi wrapped around his body, and his might shook the surroundings. His domineering voice, it spread through the void of the universe. It was none other than Jun Tianming, one of the 8 ancestors of the Jun family, who possessed the cultivation of the chaotic Tao Master. Jun Tianming didn't fall into a deep sleep after the Battle of the Immortals ended. Instead, he stayed in the Jun residence to prevent any further disturbances. Now, the ancient star domains were in chaos, ready to make a move. Jun Tianming stepped forward. Chaos Tao Master's cultivation? This was enough to intimidate everyone. What's more, there were more than 10 imperial weapons. It was so bright that it blinded everyone's eyes. In the Huangtian mystic realm, many forces were shocked. In the other direction, the Jiang family, another figure appeared. It was you who besieged the goddess of the Jiang family first, but you were killed by my grandson in the end. How dare you bark now? A supreme great ancestor of the Jiang family stepped into the sky. Was he Jun Xiaoyao's grandfather? Jiang Daoxiu, the supreme great ancestor of the Jiang family. Why waste your breath? If anyone is dissatisfied, just kill them. A bronze temple filled with an ancient aura appeared in the sky above the Huangtian mystic realm. The supreme elder of the monarch imperial court, an old blind man, and the others appeared with indifference. They hadn't had enough fun destroying the ancient star domain of the Sea King. For a moment, the entire Huangtian mystic realm trembled. The Jun family, the Jiang family, and the monarch imperial court, the 3 immortal forces spoke at the same time. Coupled with the pressure of a dozen imperial weapons, the deterrence was unimaginable. One had to know that the Jiang family didn't even interfere in the previous battle of the immortals. But now, even the Jiang family couldn't sit still. As one of the 3 imperial families, the Jiang family's foundation was among the top among the immortal forces. It wasn't much weaker than the Jun family. For a moment, some of the voices in the ancient star domain quieted down. There were even some strong cultivators who were trembling. Damn it, a dozen imperial weapons were used at once. This was simply unethical. Besides, there was also Tao Master Hundun. It was almost impossible for such a strong cultivator to appear in some of the ancient star domains. Therefore, the forces in the ancient star domain were terrified. Jun Tianming, the 8th patriarch, stood on the Milky Way with his hands behind his back and yelled, "Who else?" His voice was so loud that it shattered many stars in the starry sky. None of the forces responded. Even the emperor of the Jin dynasty and the cultivators of the Battle Demon Cave, who were furious before, were completely silent. "Humph! A bunch of cowards!" Jun Tianming snorted and left in a huff. "TSK, what a pity. It would have been better if they had fought." The parrot shook its head in disappointment. A possible riot was quelled just like that. This also showed the forces in the Huangtian mystic realm how powerful the Jun family was. I don't think anyone would object to the Jun family being the most powerful force in the Huangtian mystic realm, right? Some people were discussing. I've heard that when the Jun family was at its peak, they seemed to want to replace the supreme Xianting and control the order of the nine heavens mystic realm. Replacing the supreme Xianting? Isn't that a bit too much? The Jun family is indeed powerful, but I heard that the supreme Xianting is related to the will of the mystic realm. Many old antiques talked about this secret. In other words, the supreme Xianting was equivalent to the official force. It was not easy for the Jun family to replace it. However, according to some ancient records, the Jun family seemed to be close to success a long time ago, but they failed for some reason in the end. Some old antiques and living fossils sighed when they talked about this secret history. If there was a force that could become the leader of the nine heavens mystic realm, the Jun family was definitely the most likely one. Of course, there were other powerful ancient forces, such as the Dragon King Palace, the Gulen sect, and the lineage of the Underworld King. They would not sit back and watch the Jun family dominate the nine heavens mystic realm. Since the collapse of the supreme Xianting, many ancient forces wanted to take control of the nine heavens mystic realm. Let's not talk about this for now. I heard that there might be a successor of the supreme Xianting's taboo on the ancient road of ultimate, TSK. It would be interesting if the successor of the supreme Xianting's taboo met the son of God of the Jun family. That's right. Doesn't this mean that the Jun family and the supreme Xianting are fighting for luck? Some old antiques talked among themselves. They felt that the most intense clash would not be on the Emperor Road, but on the ancient road of ultimate. The ancient road of ultimate must be much more exciting than the Emperor Road. The waves in the Huangtian mystic realm calmed down. Even Supreme Du Tuo was shocked when he heard the news. He then shook his head with a wry smile. It seemed that he had been worrying too much. It would be a piece of cake for the Jun family and other forces to suppress these small waves. Inside the Huangtian battlefield, after all the geniuses who had participated in the encirclement were killed, the entire battlefield calmed down a little. Jun Xiaoyao also removed the third anti-immortal seal. However, the remaining geniuses did not leave. That was because the battle was not over yet. There was one last thing that everyone was curious about. It was the battle between Yi Guqin and Jun Xiaoyao on the Emperor Road. Chapter 584. There were 9 Emperor Roads in the Nine Heavens celestial realm. Each Emperor Road would produce an Emperor Road King, who represented the highest combat strength of the Emperor Road. To a certain extent, they also represented the fortune of the celestial realm. Whoever could become the Emperor Road King will be blessed by the fortune of the Huangtian celestial realm. This kind of blessing seemed illusory, but it was real. The Emperor Road of the Huangtian celestial realm had reached this point. There were only 2 people who had the highest chance of becoming the Emperor Road King. Yi Guqin, who ranked first on the Huangtian saint ranking, and Jun Xiaoyao, the son of God of the Jun family. The battle between Yi Guqin and Jun Xiaoyao had spread throughout the entire Emperor Road. Therefore, the remaining geniuses did not leave the Huangtian battlefield. They were all looking forward to the battle between Yi Guqin and Jun Xiaoyao. They also wanted to know who would become the Emperor Road King in the end. Why do I feel that the son of God of the Jun family has a higher chance of winning? That move of his was so destructive. I think so too. But Yi Guqin is not bad either. He cut off the past and reconstructed his true self. Not everyone has such courage and perseverance. That's right. Yi Guqin also hid his strength well. When he fought, he almost always killed his opponents with a single move. This is getting interesting. Many geniuses in the Huangtian battlefield were discussing. They were paying close attention to the movements of Yi Guqin and Jun Xiaoyao. On Jun Xiaoyao's side, he temporarily placed Jiang Xingyi in a cave full of spiritual qi. At this rate of recovery, Jiang Xingyi should be able to wake up in a few days. The remaining sequences of the Jun family, the geniuses of the Jiang family, and their followers gathered together. Jun Xiaoyao was also very simple. He told everyone some things that happened before he stepped onto the Emperor Road. He also told them about the details of the Battle of the Immortals. After hearing this, Everyone sighed with emotion. He did not expect such a big thing to happen in the Huangtian mystic realm after they set foot on the Imperial Road. After that, Yu said, "Young master, since Yi Guqin wants to fight with you, why didn't he come directly to you?" Hearing this, everyone pricked up their ears to listen. After all, the thing that everyone was most concerned about was the battle between the two strongest individuals. Jun Xiaoyao thought for a moment and said, "That's because he's waiting for me to find him." This answer left the crowd somewhat puzzled. Jun Xiaoyao continued, "He wants me to have time to adjust my state and mood, and then face him in the most perfect state. So that's how it is." Everyone was enlightened. This Iguchin was a man of martial ethics. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, did not mind. He didn't need to adjust his state at all. He could fight under any circumstances. But Yi Guqin's attitude? Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, was rather impressed. Such an opponent? Only then was he qualified to make him take him seriously. For someone like Long Shu Huang, Jun Xiaoyao felt that it was a waste of breath to say another word. In the following time, Jun Xiaoyao was not in a hurry to find Yi Guqin to fight. Instead, he stayed by Jiang Xingyi's side. Jun Xiaoyao himself was not sure how he felt about Jiang Xingyi. Guilt? Pity? Perhaps they were all alike. The road ahead was long. Jun Xiaoyao's goal was very big. He still had to walk to the end of the ancient road of ultimate to find the heavenly book and the hidden branch of the Jun family. He still had to find his father. Go to the foreign realm? Go to the burial realm? Go to the realm sea. Before that, he would not stop for anyone. But Jiang Xingyi was indeed a person who made one's heart ache. Looking at Jiang Xingyi's quiet and beautiful face when she was sleeping, Jun Xiaoyao was silent. A few days later, Jiang Xingyi's curled eyelashes trembled slightly. Then, her limpid eyes slowly opened. As soon as she opened her eyes, she saw the person she thought about day and night. Jiang Xingyi's lips curled into a weak smile. Although her body was more or less fine, she still needed to recuperate for a period of time to completely recover. "Xiaoyao, I had a dream, a very, very long dream. In the dream, we traveled all over the immortal realm. We went to see the mountains, the sea, the galaxy, and the mortal world." Jiang Xingyi's smile was as beautiful as 100 flowers blooming. "Sister Xingyi," Jun Xiaoyao wanted to say something. However, Jiang Xingyi gently raised her jade-like arm and tapped Jun Xiaoyao's lips with her jade finger. "There's no need to say anything. I'm willing to do everything." "I don't need you to do anything for me, Xiaoyao," Jiang Xingyi said. She would not ask Jun Xiaoyao to do anything to her. She knew that Jun Xiaoyao's journey was the sea of stars. She could not drag Jun Xiaoyao down. She was even willing to be Jun Xiaoyao's right-hand man and help him silently without asking for anything in return. Seeing such a considerate Jiang Xingyi, even Jun Xiaoyao was slightly touched. He said, "Sister Xingyi, when I return from the ancient road, I will give you a promise." Hearing this, Jiang Xingyi's delicate body trembled, and tears flashed in her eyes. Would it be the promise she was looking forward to? After that, seeing that Jiang Xingyi had woken up, Jiang Luoli and the others also came to visit. "Sister Xingyi, I'm so glad you're okay." Jiang Luoli threw herself into Jiang Xingyi's arms. "Luoli." Jiang Xingyi stroked Jiang Luoli's little head. At this moment, the barrier between them seemed to have dissolved. "It's all my fault for not being able to save Sister Xingyi." Jiang Luoli blamed herself. She felt that she was really a useless little girl. "It's not your fault," Jiang Xingyi said with a smile. "Fortunately, the ending is perfect. Nothing happened. If Xiaoyao could defeat Yi Guqin, it would be even more perfect," Lord Grimm said with a smile. "With cousin Xiaoyao's cultivation, it shouldn't be a problem," Jun Lingsong also said with a smile. He was very confident in Jun Xiaoyao. "Xiaoyao, are you going to fight with the reincarnation of the sword demon?" Jiang Xingyi was very concerned. "It's okay." Jun Xiaoyao didn't take it seriously. He did see Yi Guqin as a real opponent, but it didn't mean that Yi Guqin could threaten him. "By the way, why do I feel that my body is better than before?" Jiang Xingyi was very confused. Although she was weak now, she could feel that her body had undergone a qualitative change. It was much better than before. That's because Xiao Yao refined the holy physique's blood essence from his heart into your body, Lord Grimm said. Xiao Yao, why are you so reckless? Is there anything wrong with you? Jiang Xingyi's complexion changed. Her jade-like hand stroked Jun Xiaoyao's chest, carefully inspecting it. She was afraid that because of her own problems, something would happen to Jun Xiaoyao's body. If that happened, she would regret it for the rest of her life. Cough, cough. You guys take your time talking. I'll be leaving first. Lord Grimm dryly coughed. I'll also be leaving. Jun Lingsong smiled. Let's go, let's go. Nine-headed lion joined in on the fun, a cheap smile on his face. I really don't want to eat dog food anymore. Xiao Maxian also cried out as she left. Only Jiang Luoli's big eyes had a hint of gloominess. She squeezed out a smile and said, then Luo Li will also be leaving. Just as she was about to leave, Jiang Xingyi grabbed her wrist and said, Luo Li, you haven't seen Xiao Yao in a long time. Stay and talk. Jiang Luoli bit her lips and nodded. It was impossible for her to say that she didn't miss Jun Xiao Yao. It was just that she felt that it was a bit inappropriate. Jiang Luoli looked at Jun Xiao Yao with hidden bitterness, her heart a bit low. Looking at the two beauties in front of him, one big and one small. Jun Xiao Yao had a strange feeling in his heart. He clearly hadn't done anything, so why did he feel like he was a bit of scum? Chapter 585. The next few days were warm and uneventful. Ever since Jun Xiao Yao stepped onto the path of Imperial God, he had been pushing his way through the battlefield without stopping for even a moment. Although Jun Xiao Yao was used to this kind of life, he still felt a little tired. Jun Xiao Yao spent the past few days in a relaxed manner. He had nothing to do, so he chatted with Jiang Xingyi and Jiang Luoli. Otherwise, he would spar with Lord Grimm, Jun Lingsong, and the others, or give pointers to the other sequences of the Jun family. Although Jun Xiao Yao was of the younger generation, he had a monstrous comprehension ability. His understanding of cultivation was even deeper than some of the older generations. Therefore, some of the geniuses of the Jun family and the Jiang family were enlightened under Jun Xiao Yao's guidance, and their cultivation improved by leaps and bounds. Later on, many of the geniuses who stayed in the barren heaven battlefield came because of Jun Xiao Yao's reputation. They wanted to get some pointers from him. Jun Xiao Yao was not stingy. He started to preach, attracting many geniuses from all over. To him, these preachings were just a drop in the ocean. Jun Xiao Yao's casual enlightenment was enough for the other geniuses to study for a long time. When Jun Xiao Yao preached, flowers fell from the sky and golden lotuses bloomed on the ground. Lines of the great path intertwined in the void, and divine light surged. It was as if he was explaining the ultimate truth of the world. For a time, Jun Xiao Yao's reputation among the geniuses of the Emperor Road skyrocketed. Those geniuses who said Jun Xiao Yao's methods were too extreme were now sitting under Jun Xiao Yao's seat devoutly. They listened to his guidance quietly with a satisfied look on their faces. Even Supreme Du Tuo came to listen to Jun Xiao Yao's preaching. This caused a large group of prodigies to be taken aback. Who would have thought that even a Supreme would come to listen to Jun Xiao Yao's preaching? After listening, Supreme Du Tuo could not help but sigh. The student had surpassed the master. Even though he was a nine-heaven Supreme, he still benefited a lot from it. At the same time, Du Tuo was also impressed by Jun Xiao Yao's methods. A simple favor from Jun Xiao Yao was all it took to erase the fact that he had mercilessly slaughtered thousands of geniuses in one stroke. Now, no one said that Jun Xiao Yao was a homicidal maniac anymore. They all regarded Jun Xiao Yao as their teacher. He thanked her profusely and respected her greatly. In the following period of time, Jun Xiao Yao was free to preach the Tao. If he had nothing to do, he would watch the two Lolas, Jiang Luoli and Xiao Maxian, bicker. Xiao Xian on the other hand, was out of Jun Xiao Yao's expectations. She actually knew how to cozy up to him. Sister Sheng Yi, you're so beautiful. Sister Sheng Yi. Back then, Xiao Xian also bled to save you. Sister Sheng Yi, I feel like Big Brother Xiao Yao wants to eat me. Looking at her head full of silvery hair, sparkling and tender as snow, Xiao Xian was like a porcelain doll. Jiang Xingyi's motherly love overflowed. There was no need to mention how much she liked her. Xiaoyao, you cannot refine Xiao Xian, Jiang Xingyi said. Jun Xiaoyao was left speechless. He had indeed planned to fatten Xiao Xian up and then refine her. But this girl had also turned into a thief. She even knew how to form alliances and win over allies. Don't worry. Xiao Xian, can also be considered big sister, Sheng Yi's savior. I naturally won't do that. Jun Xiaoyao smiled at Xiao Xian but Xiao Xian felt a chill run down her spine. She thought that Jun Xiaoyao was not giving up on his evil intentions. And on the other side, the nine-headed lion cast a sidelong glance at them and whispered, "Why do I feel like they're a family of three? Shoo, you saw through me but didn't say anything? It seems that I can only think of a way to become Big Brother Xiaoyao's concubine in the future." Xiao Maxian mumbled, "What nonsense are you spouting, shameless woman?" Jiang Luoli glared at her. No matter how shameless I am, I'm still better than a certain loser, right?" Xiao Maxian said sarcastically. The so-called loser was naturally referring to Jiang Luoli. "Ah, stinking woman, who are you calling a loser? I want to fight you." Jiang Luoli's hair stood on end, like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. She, lowly Jiang, would never admit that she was a loser. Time slowly passed. Jun Xiaoyao enjoyed a rare moment of peace. None of the geniuses had left the desolate heaven battlefield. They were all looking forward to the final battle. Xiaoyao, the reincarnation of the sword demon, cannot be underestimated. He has hidden his strength very deeply. It can be said that he has never used his full strength on the Emperor's Road. Lord Grimm warned. Lord Grimm was also very strong. If he wanted to compete for the Emperor's Road, he could definitely compete with Yi Guqin. However, even Lord Grimm did not have full confidence that he could defeat Yi Guqin. This sword demon, who had severed his past and reconstructed his true self, had hidden his strength very deeply. He was extremely terrifying. Jiang Xingyi stepped forward and said, "That's right, Xiaoyao. You have not refined the divine fetus. If you do, your chances of winning will be greater." Looking at Jiang Xingyi, who had yet to recover her vitality and was still a little pale, Jun Xiaoyao shook his head and said, "Sister Xingyi, your innate Tao fetus is the most compatible with the divine fetus. If you refine it, you will make great progress. If I refine it, it will only be icing on the cake." Jun Xiaoyao's words were the truth. Although the divine fetus was also very useful to him, it was obviously more useful to Jiang Xingyi. "No, Xiaoyao, this is a gift from me. You can't reject it." Jiang Xingyi put on a serious face and said seriously, "Ahem, can you guys consider my feelings?" Lord Grimm coughed dryly and said, as a single dog, he had been shown off in front of everyone, "Master, you have the sacred body of the ancients, and the goddess of the Jiang family has the innate Tao fetus. Why can't you two cultivate together?" The nine-headed lion suddenly said. At that moment, everyone's eyes suddenly turned to the nine-headed lion. "What's wrong?" The nine-headed lion's 9 faces were all stunned. "You're quite a clever little brat," Xiao Maxian muttered. Even Jun Xiaoyao was slightly stunned. He had not thought of this. Logically speaking, he had the sacred body of the ancients, and Jiang Xingyi had the innate Tao fetus. If they cultivated together, it would indeed have an amplifying effect. Moreover, they had the divine fetus as support. If the two of them cultivated the great path together, the effect would definitely be off the charts. But wasn't this the same as cultivating together? Jiang Xingyi had obviously thought of this as well. Her beautiful face instantly blushed a soul-stirring crimson. This is not a bad idea. Jun Lingsong and the others nodded in agreement. Naturally, they also hoped that Jun Xiaoyao could defeat Yi Guqin and win the title of king of the Emperor Road. However, Jiang Luoli, Yin Qingying, Princess Longji, Xiao Maxian, and the other girls felt a little jealous. However, they also hoped that Jun Xiaoyao could become stronger, so they did not object. "Sister Xingyi, Jun Xiaoyao was just about to say that this was a little inappropriate." Jiang Xingyi lowered her head slightly and whispered, "Xiaoyao, I can do it." The beauty lowered her head and smiled shyly. She was very charming. Okay, Jun Xiaoyao was not a procrastinator. Since Jiang Xingyi had agreed, why should he, as a man, have any scruples? Then, everyone left to avoid arousing suspicion. Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi found a cave with abundant spiritual energy and prepared to refine the divine fetus. Cultivating together with Jiang Xingyi gave Jun Xiaoyao a strange feeling. He remembered a story from his previous life. A certain genius, surnamed Yang, cultivated the Jade Girl Heart Sutra with his aunt. Chapter 586. Of course, Jun Xiaoyao had no other intentions. He simply wanted to use the divine fetus to improve his cultivation with Jiang Xingyi. Sister Xingyi, it's time to start, Jun Xiaoyao said. Okay. Jiang Xingyi's expression also became more solemn. However, there was still a trace of redness on her beautiful face that was as bright as the sunset glow. Jun Xiaoyao took out the divine fetus. The entire divine fetus was enshrouded in divine qi and shone brightly. There were mysterious Tao patterns intertwining and the aura of the great path flowing. It made people feel as if they were about to have an epiphany and understand the truth of the world. So this is the power of immortals. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were burning with passion. There was no admiration, or yearning in his eyes. Because to him, becoming an immortal was a goal he would definitely achieve. So there was nothing to be envious of. What he needed to do was to take one step at a time toward this goal. When the divine fetus appeared, the innate Taoist fetus in Jiang Xingyi's body seemed to resonate and began to release Tao patterns and tremble. The innate Taoist fetus was the favored child of heaven and earth. A divine object like the divine fetus was the most suitable for Jiang Xingyi to refine. Sister Xingyi, you don't have to suppress the power of your innate Taoist fetus, Jun Xiaoyao said. Jiang Xingyi nodded and completely released the power of her innate Taoist fetus. In an instant, Jiang Xingyi's entire body shone with divine light, like a fairy who was about to ascend. What was even more bizarre was that Jun Xiaoyao's body began to emanate boundless divine light as well. The sacred body of the ancients and the innate Taoist fetus were physiques that could attract and resonate with each other. The innate Taoist fetus of the innate Taoist fetus of the two was a super physique that could be ranked in the top 5 among the 3,000 physiques. Since ancient times, there had only been a handful of them. Jun Xiaoyao did not have any scruples and activated the power of his sacred body of the ancients. The power of the sacred body of the ancients merged with the power of the innate Taoist fetus. The feeling was indescribable. It was as if he had reached some kind of climax. Jun Xiaoyao was still fine. His expression was calm as he focused on refining the divine fetus. On the other hand, Jiang Xingyi's face was as red as snow. She bit her lips and tried her best not to make any strange sounds. After all, in some aspects, it was usually the girls who screamed happily while the boys hardly said anything. The power of the two merged together, and the power of the primordial spirit was released as well, mixing in the void. The divine fetus unleashed a tremendous amount of energy in an instant. Immortal light surged like a tide. The energy swept out, and in an instant, Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi's clothes melted away like snow in spring. In the next moment, they were honest with each other. Jun Xiaoyao's body was perfect and flawless, as if he was the most perfect piece of art carved by the heavens. Every inch of his body was glowing with immortal light. Jiang Xingyi's skin and bones were also as white and translucent as snow. She was like a beauty carved from jade. Her previous injuries had long since disappeared without a trace. Her jade-like body was as white and delicate as ivory, without a single flaw. Jiang Xingyi couldn't help but let out a low cry. She closed her beautiful eyes, her eyelashes trembling slightly, and her face flushed red. This was the first time she revealed her body in front of the opposite sex. Previously, she had mistakenly consumed the tea that Jiang Luoli had drugged, and she had done something ridiculous with Jun Xiaoyao. But she had only done that, and hadn't done anything excessive. But now, they were honest with each other. Jiang Xingyi's beautiful eyes were tightly shut, and her heart was pounding wildly. Even someone as mature and intelligent as her couldn't help but feel a little flustered when faced with such a situation. At this moment, Jiang Xingyi was exceptionally beautiful, like a fairy from Moon Palace. Such a pure and holy fairy was now honest with each other. The temptation was indescribable. Jun Xiaoyao wasn't saint. He glanced at her and sighed slightly. She looked thin with clothes on, but muscular without them. Sister Xingyi, focus. Refining the divine fetus is the most important thing, Jun Xiaoyao said. Art was worth admiring, but the most important thing right now was to refine the divine fetus. Jiang Xingyi also opened her beautiful eyes, trembling. It was too big. Jiang Xingyi's heart was beating even faster. Jun Xiaoyao's certain parts made women feel pressured. However, Jiang Xingyi was also a proud daughter of the heavens. Her mind was very stable, and she quickly calmed down. This was nothing. She could accept it if she gritted her teeth and persevered. Jiang Xingyi encouraged herself in her heart. She would work hard to become Jun Xiaoyao's shape. Jun Xiaoyao naturally didn't know what Jiang Xingyi was thinking. At this moment, he and Jiang Xingyi each activated the power of the sacred body of the ancients and the innate fetus of the way. The two merged and began to refine the divine fetus. The vast energy of the divine fetus began to be refined and absorbed by them. A dazzling cocoon of energy enveloped the two of them. Vaguely, not only did the two of them merge their powers, but even the power of their primordial spirits began to merge. The power of the innate fetus of the way began to spread in Jun Xiaoyao's body. The power of the sacred body of the ancients also spread in Jiang Xingyi's body. The two bodies overlapped, causing the energy of the divine fetus to be released several times more. Lines of the great path began to vibrate on the surface of Jun Xiaoyao's body. The embryonic form of divine qi spread. It was pale blue, like the heavens. In Jun Xiaoyao's chest, the supreme bone was shining, and the power of the heavens was circulating. With the support of the divine fetus, the pale blue embryonic form of divine qi quickly condensed into a real divine qi. The heavens' divine qi. This divine qi was the manifestation of the first abhijna of Jun Xiaoyao's supreme bone, the power of the heavens. As a result, Jun Xiaoyao's three supreme bone abhijnas all had corresponding divine qi. The heavens' divine qi, the reincarnation divine qi, and the sin divine qi. At the same time, another divine qi appeared on the surface of Jiang Xingyi's body. It was a Tao that she had comprehended. However, the cultivation was far from over. The power of the divine fetus was not limited to this. The embryonic form of divine qi began to condense on the surface of Jun Xiaoyao's body again. It was a pitch-black divine qi. It was like a black hole abyss, and it emitted a heart-palpitating, devouring power. It was the manifestation of Jun Xiaoyao's god-devouring demonic technique, devouring divine qi. At the same time, Jiang Xingyi also condensed another divine qi. It could be said that no other genius could condense divine qi as fast as Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi. After that, time continued to pass. On the surface of Jun Xiaoyao's body, another divine qi appeared. This divine qi was like the intertwining of the Great Path's rules, and it carried the true meaning of the Great Path. This divine qi is... Jun Xiaoyao was very surprised. This was not a Tao that Jun Xiaoyao had comprehended himself. He did not have this kind of energy in his body. It's Sister Xingyi's Great Path divine qi. Jun Xiaoyao was surprised and said to himself, this divine qi was the divine qi condensed by Jiang Xingyi's innate power of the Taoist fetus. At the same time, a divine qi also condensed on the surface of Jiang Xingyi's body. The divine qi was golden and mixed with a trace of blood qi. It was the divine qi condensed by Jun Xiaoyao's sacred body of the ancients when he cultivated the physique book. Chapter 587. The situation before them was very strange. Jun Xiaoyao had condensed Jiang Xingyi's great path divine qi. Jiang Xingyi, on the other hand, had condensed Jun Xiaoyao's divine aura. Of the two divine qi, one was condensed from the innate embryo of Taoism, and the other was condensed from the sacred body of the ancients and the physique book. This dual cultivation allowed Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi to each condense a divine qi that belonged to the other. It could be said that such a scene had never happened before. Interesting. Is this the resonance between the sacred body of the ancients and the innate embryo of Taoism? Jun Xiaoyao felt that this change was very interesting. Jiang Xingyi also felt that it was very strange. He didn't expect the two constitutions to have such a connection. Perhaps Xiaoyao and I are destined to be together. When Jiang Xingyi thought of this, he felt a sweet feeling that was both shy and happy. After that, the two of them didn't condense any more divine qi. After all, Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi had each condensed 3 divine qi in a short period of time. In total, they had 6 divine qi, which was an extremely shocking amount. However, the divine fetus still had a huge amount of energy left. Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi each absorbed half of this energy. The energy would sink into their bodies and play an important role in the next condensing of divine qi. If they wanted to break through to the next level, the energy of the divine fetus would also play an amazing role. Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi were each comprehending and consolidating their gains in cultivation. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. The atmosphere of the entire barren heaven battlefield became slightly restless. Many geniuses were very confused as to why Jun Xiaoyao hadn't shown up for the appointment. Yi Guqin was able to keep his composure, and he didn't urge them in the slightest. He just sat cross-legged on the heavenly Tao arena by himself as he waited for the final battle of destiny. After more than half a month of consolidation, the energy cocoon that enveloped Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi finally cracked open. 2 figures with perfect figures were revealed. The harvest this time is too great. Jun Xiaoyao exhaled deeply, a trace of excitement on his face. Including the immortal qi that he had just cultivated, he now had 8 wisps of immortal qi. What kind of concept was that? It could be said that even on the ultimate ancient road, 8 strands of immortal qi was a taboo that no one dared to provoke. Even among the outlawed sky prides, to be able to cultivate 8 strands of immortal qi was also one of a kind. What was even more terrifying was that this was not Jun Xiaoyao's limit. He could cultivate even more immortal qi. As for the realm, however, he didn't make a breakthrough. It was fine if Jun Xiaoyao didn't break through, but once he did, it would definitely be a blowout. Was that why he didn't use the power of the divine fetus to break through this time, and instead accumulated it in his body? He would leave it for another day to break through the realm in one go. On the other hand, Jiang Xingyi's beautiful face was also filled with joy. She had also cultivated 6 strands of immortal qi, even if she wasn't as good as Jun Xiaoyao, but it was enough for her to stand out from the crowd. What made Jiang Xingyi even happier was that Jun Xiaoyao's aura had become stronger again. This made her happier than her own breakthrough. Xiaoyao, how do you feel? Jiang Xingyi walked gracefully toward Jun Xiaoyao. Not bad. If only I knew it would be so efficient. I should have dual cultivated with Sister Xingyi earlier, Jun Xiaoyao said honestly. Jiang Xingyi's snow-white face turned red when she heard this. That was too direct. Jun Xiaoyao sized up Jiang Xingyi and said, Sister Xingyi, are you testing my determination? Sensing Jun Xiaoyao's gaze, Jiang Xingyi finally realized that she was still completely naked. Her snow-white skin was like jade, glowing. She blushed and hurriedly took out a snow-white robe to change. To be honest, even Jun Xiaoyao didn't expect this. Jiang Xingyi, who was as slender as a willow in her snow-white robe, was actually so well endowed inside. Sister Xingyi really hides her abilities well. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly and unhurriedly changed into his white robe. Jiang Xingyi's face was slightly red, and she charmingly rolled her eyes at Jun Xiaoyao. How could she not know that Jun Xiaoyao was teasing her figure? This could be considered as sexual harassment, all right? However, Jiang Xingyi didn't feel the slightest bit repulsed. Instead, she blushed and her heart raced because of Jun Xiaoyao's gaze. Jiang Xingyi's cheeks were still red. She pretended to be indifferent, but her gaze quietly fell on Jun Xiaoyao, who was putting on his robe. "It's still too big," Jiang Xingyi muttered to herself as she blushed and her heart raced. After some tidying up, the awkward atmosphere finally disappeared. Jun Xiaoyao then said seriously, "Sister Xingyi, you have my physical immortal qi, and I have your immortal qi of the Great Path. Do you feel the mystery?" Jiang Xingyi's expression also returned to normal. She said, "I feel it. If I activate my physical immortal qi, I vaguely feel like I have an innate sacred body." "Yes, I feel the same." Jun Xiaoyao nodded. To put it simply, if Jun Xiaoyao added the immortal qi of the Great Path to his sacred body of the ancients, he could simulate the innate sacred body of Tao for a short period of time and manifest part of the power of the innate sacred body of Tao. On the other hand, it was the same for Jiang Xingyi. Don't underestimate this little change. The innate sacred body of Tao was definitely one of the most monstrous physiques in the world. Even if it could only simulate a small part of the power for a short period of time, it was enough to be used as a trump card to catch the enemy off guard. Jun Xiaoyao was very satisfied with this harvest. Of course, he wouldn't forget that it was Jiang Xingyi who risked her life to bring it to him. "Sister Xingyi, thank you very much," Jun Xiaoyao said sincerely. He stepped forward and put his arm around Jiang Xingyi's shoulder. Jiang Xingyi's heart was so sweet that it almost melted. "Xiaoyao," Jiang Xingyi suddenly called out. "Hmm?" Jun Xiaoyao had just responded. A picturesque face was reflected in front of him. Her eyebrows were curved, her eyes were like autumn water, her lips were bright red, and her teeth were sparkling. She kissed Jun Xiaoyao lightly on the lips. It was a quick touch. The mature and gentle Jiang Xingyi was like a little girl who had fallen in love for the first time. Her heart was palpitating and beating nonstop. Jun Xiaoyao didn't feel anything. He was an old hand in his previous life. "Let's go," Jun Xiaoyao said. The King of Kings Battle of Emperor Road was still waiting for him. Jun Xiaoyao couldn't be trapped in this gentle village. Outside the cave, many people were waiting. Jun Xiaoyao and Jiang Xingyi walked out at the same time. They looked at Jiang Xingyi, whose snow-white face was as bright as the sunset, and whose starry eyes were moist with shyness. Everyone present was stunned. Then they smiled bitterly and shook their heads. The main purpose of dual cultivation was not to cultivate. Those who understood it would understand it. Those who didn't would understand it when they grew up. "Why are you looking at me like that?" Jun Xiaoyao asked. "Haha, congratulations. It seems that the world will soon have an innate saint body of Taoist embryo that will shock the world," Lord Grimm said. "It seems that I will have a little master soon." The nine-headed lion was also cheering. Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. For the first time, he realized that the people around him were so gossipy. Jiang Luoli was even teary-eyed. She pouted and looked like she had been wronged. In the end, Jun Xiaoyao had to explain to clear up the misunderstanding. "All right, Yi Guqin must have been waiting for a long time. The Emperor Road of the Huangtian mystic realm should come to an end," Jun Xiaoyao said seriously. Yi Guqin was definitely a very strong opponent. "Xiaoyao, you must be careful. Don't be careless," Jiang Xingyi said as she stepped forward and tidied Jun Xiaoyao's clothes. "Don't worry. He is an interesting opponent, but the only person who can defeat me is myself." Chapter 588. In the deepest part of the Barren Heaven battlefield, there was a heavenly law arena. Rumor had it that it was a battleground for ancient geniuses to fight for the seal of proving doctrine. Although the heavenly law arena was called an arena, it looked like a giant island floating in the void. All kinds of sealing runes were imprinted in the void, preventing the shock waves of the battle from spreading. At this moment, the surroundings of the heavenly law arena were crowded with many Emperor Road geniuses who were looking forward to it. They were all waiting for the final battle of the Emperor Road. On one side was the first on the Barren Heaven Saint leaderboard, the reincarnation of the Yi family's sword demon, who had never been defeated since he entered the Emperor Road. On the other side was the son of God of the June family, who was known as the Invincible Sage. His strength was unprecedented, and he was known as an outlawed Sky Pride. His terrifying battle record of killing thousands of Sky Prides with a single move in the barren heaven battlefield was still passed down in the Emperor Road, becoming a legend. It could be said that the battle between these two represented the pinnacle of the younger generation in the barren heaven mystic realm. If one could watch a battle of this level, it would be a great opportunity to gain enlightenment. Therefore, none of the prodigies would miss out on this battle. Even Supreme Du Tuo had come here long ago and was prepared. At this moment, in the Heavenly Law Arena, 5 dazzling jade seals that exuded the Heavenly Law's aura rotated in the air. They were the 5 seals of proving doctrine. On the other side, Yi Guchen was sitting cross-legged in the void, with a blood-stained Emperor Slayer on his knees. He was waiting for his fated battle. We must win this battle. Among the crowd, a young man with a sword on his back clenched his fists. He was the Yi family's ancient freak, Yi Nantian. However, even as an ancient freak, Yi Nantian's status was much lower than Yi Guchen's. The Yi family's luck was all on Yi Guchen's shoulders. To a certain extent, this was a battle of luck between the Yi family and the June family. At some point, Yi Guchen seemed to have sensed something. He slowly stood up. The Emperor Slayer made a sonorous sound and floated beside him, like a loyal comrade. Is it finally here? Yi Guchen muttered. A strand of sword intent that shot into the sky surged out from within his body. The stars trembled. Heaven and earth shook. He also unleashed his cultivation at the Sage Realm Great Perfection without holding back. This was the first time Yi Guchen had fully revealed his cultivation in front of everyone. He is indeed at the great circle of the Sage stage. The eyes of some Sky Prides flickered. Generally speaking, some reincarnated ancient powerhouses had a great advantage in terms of cultivation realm. For example, some quasi-emperors or even great emperors reincarnated very early on. Then, he would be able to cultivate to an extremely high level. Although Yi Guchen had severed his past and reconstructed his true self, what about his potential and talent? He was still alive. It wasn't surprising that he had cultivated to the Saint Realm's perfection. As for Jun Xiaoyao, how could he cultivate to the Saint stage perfection at such a young age? This was the one and only anomaly throughout the ages. Just as Yi Guchen released his fighting spirit, there was a vast divine light surging in the distant sky. A white-robed figure arrived like a divine king. Every step, it caused the stars in the sky to tremble. A terrifying magical power ripple that wasn't weaker than Yi Guchen's. When it spread out, the surrounding Sky Prides felt as if they were facing a god. Jun Xiaoyao had arrived. Looking at the soaring, fighting spirit, Yi Guchen's shocking sword intent, Jun Xiaoyao's bright divine eyes, there was also a hint of surprise. Yi Guchen was stronger than he thought. He was stronger. But this, only then would it be interesting. If it was the same as before, Jun Xiaoyao wouldn't be interested in going to this appointment. He hoped that someone could challenge him. Behind Jun Xiaoyao, Jiang Xingyi, Jiang Luoli, Xiao Maxian, Nine-Headed Lion, Lord Grimm, Jun Lingcong, and the others also followed. A large group of people followed behind him in a grandiose manner. The entire Heavenly Dao arena was filled with people, and the atmosphere reached its peak. You're finally here. Yi Guchen spoke, his voice calm and indifferent. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao's arrival, his cold face didn't have the slightest ripple. Even if Jun Xiaoyao had already made history, and the battle record of killing thousands of people with one move had shaken the entire Huangtian mystic realm. But Yi Guchen's eyes didn't have the slightest fear. There was only the excitement of meeting an opponent and the surging fighting spirit. I have to thank you for not participating in the encirclement before, Jun Xiaoyao said. If Yi Guchen had joined the encirclement of Jiang Xingyi, then Jiang Xingyi definitely wouldn't have been able to hold on until his arrival. Hearing this, Yi Guchen shook his head indifferently and said, "There's no need to thank me. I wouldn't do such a despicable thing." Who was he? He was the sword demon who had once killed an emperor under the starry sky. Such a person, even if reincarnated, would not be in cahoots with the likes of Long Shuhuang. That would be an insult to his character. I was wrong. If that's the case, then I'll apologize with a battle. Jun Xiaoyao's fighting spirit was also surging. He rarely had such a hot-blooded moment. Yi Guqin laughed heroically. His black hair danced in the wind as he shouted, Jun Xiaoyao, I've climbed to the peak of the sword Dao and asked all the heroes in the world, are you worthy of my sword? No matter how the wind and clouds change, heroes rise and fall. The monarch is the king, and the world is his subject. Jun Xiaoyao's words were equally heroic, and his aura swallowed thousands of miles like a tiger. Looking at the two peerless geniuses whose auras soared into the sky and had the world in their hearts, the blood of all the geniuses present boiled. Jiang Xingyi, Jiang Luoli, and the other girl's eyes were filled with longing and admiration. This was the person they admired, a man who dominated thousands of generations and swallowed mountains and rivers. Even Supreme Du Tuo's blood, which had been silent for a long time, was boiling. It's good to be young and frivolous. Supreme Du Tuo smiled slightly. Next, the shocking battle between the Yi family's sword demon and the Jun family's son of God officially began. Jun Xiaoyao took a step forward and threw a punch in a simple manner. At this point, any words would seem pale and powerless. Only a hearty battle would be the greatest form of respect for each other. Jun Xiaoyao attacked. The vast fist light covered the sun, the moon, and the stars, as if the sky was overturning. Yi Guqin didn't use the Emperor Slayer's sword. Instead, he also threw a punch with his palm. Is Yi Guqin crazy? He's actually fighting Jun Xiaoyao head-on? Many geniuses widened their eyes. Jun Xiaoyao's physical body was famous for being abnormal. Who among the younger generation could stop him? Boom! Their fists and palms collided. It was as if two galaxies had collided, bursting out huge waves. Yi Guqin only felt a terrifying and boundless divine power pouring over. His physical body emitted light. Golden Tao patterns intertwined, and a vast aura of creation filled the air. Could that be the legendary golden body of creation that was almost lost? Seeing the changes in Yi Guqin's physical body, some of the knowledgeable geniuses present couldn't help but exclaim. The golden body of creation was an extremely rare and supreme body tempering technique. It was rumored that some Buddhist powerhouses used the golden body of creation to cultivate an immortal body. However, such a monstrous technique was almost lost. Even in one of the Buddhist legacies, the Little Western Paradise, there was only a partial and incomplete inheritance. Now, Yi Guqin used the complete golden body of creation. This was shocking, as expected of a reincarnated powerhouse. He has awakened his innate wisdom and can remember many lost techniques. Some of the geniuses sighed. These reincarnated monstrous geniuses also had an advantage over the rest. They could awaken the memories of their previous lives. After that, they would recall all kinds of martial arts techniques. Many of them were ancient techniques that had been lost. They were extremely precious. Oh, the golden body of creation. Seeing that Yi Guqin blocked his punch, Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyebrows slightly. However, this was just a casual punch. Boom! Jun Xiaoyao activated the 100,000 divine elephant granules in his body. An even more terrifying power poured out. Crack! The sound of bones cracking could be heard from Yi Guqin's arm. With a loud bang, there was an earth-shattering sound of metal clashing. Yi Guqin's golden body of creation was instantly broken. Chapter 589. Dazzling golden light flickered in the air. The golden runes on Yi Guqin's body began to shatter. Jun Xiaoyao's physical strength was too terrifying. He was much more powerful than some of the older generation of Saint Kings, or even Supreme Saints. Even though Yi Guqin had cultivated the almost lost golden body of creation, he was still no match for Jun Xiaoyao in terms of physical strength. Crack! The sound of bones cracking could be heard. Yi Guqin's expression was very calm. His arm was trembling at an extremely high frequency. Every time he trembled, he was able to dissipate a large amount of force. A technique to dissipate force. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed. This was not some kind of magic. It was just a combat technique. However, it was also evident that Yi Guqin, as the reincarnation of the sword demon, had rich combat experience. Many of his techniques had become instinctive. Even so, Yi Guqin was forced to retreat dozens of steps. Yi Guqin, who was ranked first on the Barren Sky Saint ranking, was forced to retreat for the first time. There was dead silence all around. The son of God of the Jun family is indeed undefeatable. The legend of invincibility. The legend of the Jun family son of God will continue. Some of Jun Xiaoyao's fanatical admirers were shouting excitedly. Jun Xiaoyao was still the same Jun Xiaoyao. When fighting, he would never be injured or retreat. He would fight until the end. Of course, not everyone thought this way. The two sides are just testing each other. The outcome is still unknown. That's right. The sword demon of the Yi family is testing the son of God of the Jun family with his own shortcomings. It's normal for him to be defeated. Don't forget that Yi Guqin hasn't used his sword yet. These words brought some of the geniuses back to their senses. Yi Guqin was the sword demon. With a sword in hand, he controlled the world. Right now, Yi Guqin was at most probing. Yi Guqin, there's no need for unnecessary probing. Show me your true strength, Jun Xiaoyao said calmly. Seeing this, Yi Guqin did not hold back. His footsteps flashed, and his figure seemed to draw out thousands of light shadows, merging into the trichiliocosm. He could be found in every world. This was an extremely ancient movement divine ability, and it had the ability to confuse the enemy, making it impossible for the enemy to discern what was real and what was not. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was indifferent as he dealt with the myriad of changes by remaining unchanged. Yi Guqin used his finger as a sword, and thousands of light shadows pointed out at the same time. Tianluo, sword finger. It was as if thousands of sword auras had cut through the 3,000 worlds and surrounded Jun Xiaoyao. These sword lights were both real and illusory. Jun Xiaoyao glanced around indifferently, but he still didn't move. He stood with his hands behind his back, looking very calm. In the next moment, those sword auras melted into nothingness when they were within 100 feet of Jun Xiaoyao's body. It's that strange magical immunity ability. Seeing this scene, some elites exclaimed. Yi Guqin's expression was calm, and his thousands of clones all rushed towards Jun Xiaoyao. In Jun Xiaoyao's mind, his primordial spirit trembled slightly, and the surging power of his primordial spirit poured out. In an instant, he locked onto a figure. Jun Xiaoyao's footsteps flashed, and a divine chain of order flew out from between his eyebrows, condensing into a golden short sword, and slashed at the figure. It was the primitive Emperor Dao sword. Boom! The moment the primitive Emperor Dao sword slashed down, all the surrounding phantoms suddenly disappeared. Jun Xiaoyao saw through Yi Guqin's true body at a glance. Bang! A violent sound of vibration was heard. That move of Jun Xiaoyao's was supposed to be able to kill ordinary geniuses right there and then. However, to everyone's surprise, Yi Guqin actually withstood it. There was a bell-shaped weapon between his eyebrows, protecting his primordial spirit. Heavens, that's a primordial spirit weapon. Seeing that bell-shaped weapon, not to mention the elites, even Supreme Du Tuo was speechless. As the name suggested, a primordial spirit weapon was a weapon used by the primordial spirit. The forging process of a primordial spirit weapon had almost been lost. It could be said that one used one was one less. However, there was actually a primordial spirit weapon in Yi Guqin's mind that was protecting his primordial spirit. In this way, it would be extremely difficult to destroy Yi Guqin's primordial spirit. As expected of the reincarnation of an ancient powerhouse, he even has such a good thing. Many elites revealed envious gazes. At this moment, Yi Guqin's expression became serious. Jun Xiaoyao was like a towering mountain in front of him, not moving at all. Jun Xiaoyao, you're very strong. It can even be said that you're an anomaly among the elites since ancient times. However, this is what makes it interesting. After saying that, Yi Guqin raised his left hand. Blood chi surged into the sky, and killing intent filled the air. The blood-colored sword, Qi, shook the sky. He raised his right hand, and the power of the stars surged. Above the 9 heavens, a river of stars gathered and turned into a dazzling sword of stars. Yi Guqin was actually performing sword techniques with both hands at the same time. This kind of ability was not something that just anyone could possess. Blood-killing firmament, star-slaying god. The 2 sword techniques were performed at the same time, and a vast sword Qi swept across the sky. The giant blood-colored sword and the giant starry sword slashed at Jun Xiaoyao at the same time. Every sword Qi could easily kill a few sane overlords. Facing the 2 incoming swords, Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand. He still chose to fight with his physical body. Bang! It was as if a chain of mountains had collapsed. The void trembled, and debris flew through the air. The entire Heavenly Dao arena was rumbling and trembling. Yi Guqin raised his eyebrows slightly. Not only did the 2 swords fail to hurt Jun Xiaoyao, they couldn't even make him retreat. Again, Yi Guqin's Dao heart was firm. He wouldn't be shaken by Jun Xiaoyao's strength at all. He continued to attack. His sword turned into thousands of swords, and it seemed as if there were thousands of sword lights flashing in the void. The layers of sword lights were like a meat grinder, crushing toward Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao simply punched out with the 6 paths of reincarnation fist, breaking all attacks with one move. Boom! It was as if there were 6 small worlds. As Jun Xiaoyao's fist crushed out, the surrounding thousands of sword Qi were destroyed. Jun Xiaoyao's fist didn't slow down, and it smashed toward Yi Guqin. Seeing this, Yi Guqin pointed at his glabella. In an instant, the void trembled, and 108,000 sword souls burst out from his body. Each sword soul had the power to destroy the sun, moon, and stars. And now, 108,000 sword souls came out at the same time. Their power was earth-shattering. The sword Qi drowned out heaven and earth and covered the sky, pressing toward Jun Xiaoyao. Rumble. Jun Xiaoyao's 6 paths of reincarnation fist collided with the 108,000 sword souls. Instantly, there was a dense and continuous collision sound. Seeing this battle, everyone in the surroundings almost stopped breathing. The 108,000 sword souls could be said to be one of Yi Guqin's trump cards. In the past, when he fought with others, 1 sword soul was enough to kill his opponent. Now 108,000 sword souls came out at the same time. One could imagine how powerful it was. Don't tell me the battle is over so quickly. Looking at Jun Xiaoyao, who was completely surrounded by the sword souls, many of the sky prides present muttered. And at this moment, bang! A figure leaped out of the sea like a Kuan Peng and broke through the sword soul barrier. A punch came straight at Yi Guqin. The 6 paths of reincarnation fist controlled 6 top-tier superpowers. The power of that punch seemed to be able to pierce through the heavens. Boom! Jun Xiaoyao's punch was enough to destroy everything. Is the result already? Everyone looked at the center of the collision and muttered absent-mindedly. It would be disappointing if Yi Guqin, the first on the Desolate Sky Saint ranking, was defeated like this. Chapter 590. To their surprise, even Yi Guqin, who was ranked first on the Desolate Sky Sacred ranking, was in a disadvantageous position against Jun Xiaoyao. The crowd could not help but wonder if anyone in the same generation in the 9 Heavens Immortal Realm could defeat Jun Xiaoyao. Is the sword demon of the Yi clan done for? The geniuses murmured among themselves as they watched the dust spreading in the air. If that was the case, Yi Guqin's reputation would surely drop to the lowest point. No way. There's no way Yi Guqin is going to lose. Yi Guqin clenches fists. No matter how strong Jun Xiaoyao was, there was no way he could kill Yi Guqin so easily. While the crowd was immersed in their thoughts, Jun Xiaoyao, who threw the punch, had a strange look in his eyes. His fist didn't land on flesh and blood. A gust of wind blew the dust away. In the next moment, everyone's gazes converged on him. A sword covered in blood stood in front of Yi Guqin, blocking Jun Xiaoyao's fist. It was the monarch's slaying sword. Oh! Jun Xiaoyao raised his brows slightly. Even a supreme weapon would at least have cracks on it. if not shatter into pieces after receiving the punch. However, the Emperor Slayer's sword was buzzing and trembling, as if it was brewing with a shocking sharpness. Sword come. Yi Guqin stepped back and raised his hand to grab at the same time. The monarch's slaying sword had finally landed in his hand. In an instant, Yi Guqin's temperament changed. He was like a sharp sword that had been drawn out of its sheath, emitting a peerless glow that could tear the heavens apart. When a sword cultivator held a sword in his hand, he would own the entire world. Yi Guqin's finger gently brushed the edge of the monarch's slaying sword. A clang was heard. Who can comprehend the joy of the sword? My sword is only missing one. Jun Xiaoyao, you're worthy of my sword. Yi Guqin had finally used the monarch's slaying sword. He casually swept out with his sword, and sword chi swept out like an ocean, filling the heavens and the earth. Streaks of sword energy came crashing down like a mountain range of 10,000 miles. If ordinary geniuses were to fall into it, they wouldn't even have the slightest bit of resistance. In that case, let's fight sword with sword, Jun Xiaoyao said leisurely. He used his finger as a sword and swept out with the immortal slaying sword art. The incomparably sharp sword light shattered the void, and the scene of an immortal falling appeared. Jun Xiaoyao was neither a sword cultivator nor a sword cultivator. But at his level, he could turn something rotten into something magical. He had all kinds of methods at his fingertips. At this moment, he saw Jun Xiaoyao's peerless sword move. If he said he was a sword cultivator, no one would object. Boom! Jun Xiaoyao's sword slashed through the myriad of sword chi and headed straight for Yi Guqin. Everyone exclaimed in surprise. Was it Yi Guqin before? He was at a disadvantage against Jun Xiaoyao's physical strength. But now, Jun Xiaoyao was crushing Yi Guqin's strongest advantage in terms of sword Dao. If ordinary geniuses saw this scene, their Dao heart would definitely collapse, and they would completely lose their will to fight. But Yi Guqin was getting braver and braver as he fought. There were flames burning in his pitch-black eyes. 3 ultimate holy swords. Yi Guqin held the Imperial Slayer sword and slashed out 3 times in a row. 1 streak of sword chi. It was as blazing as the sun. 1 streak of sword chi was as cold as the moon. 1 streak of sword chi. It was as bright as the stars. This sword Dao mystical power, it was integrated with the power of the sun, moon, and stars. It was extremely mysterious. When they combined, there were endless changes. 3 sword moves in an instant. They combined hundreds and thousands of times and divided into countless sword moves. It could be said that it was almost impossible to crack this move. With Jun Xiaoyao's comprehension, it wasn't difficult to crack this sword move. But he didn't need to crack it at all. He could defeat 10 with brute force. Jun Xiaoyao directly used the purest strength to crush everything. His left hand used the Thunder Emperor's mystical power to derive the ultimate move, Thunder Emperor's Finger. His right hand used the Kuan Peng's mystical power to perform the Kuan Peng Infinite Divine Fist. 2 mystical powers were performed by Jun Xiaoyao at the same time. Heaven and earth seemed to be destroyed in an instant, torn in half by Jun Xiaoyao. Even someone as strong as Yi Guqin. The ultimate move he used completely collapsed under Jun Xiaoyao's brute strength. Jun Xiaoyao stepped across the void and used the Kuan Peng's extreme speed. His figure flashed and appeared in front of Yi Guqin in an instant. The power of the divine elephant overpowering force was fully activated. The true body of the ancient divine elephant appeared and pressed down like a demonic mountain. Bang! Yi Guqin blocked the attack with the Emperor Slayer sword, but he was still forced back. The blood in his chest was boiling. The surrounding space was distorted by the terrifying divine power, as if it was about to explode. Not to mention Yi Guqin, who was in the middle of it. It could be said that no other genius would be able to survive Jun Xiaoyao's attack. Yi Guqin was repelled at the moment, and blood was flowing from the corner of his mouth. But compared to Jun Xiaoyao's other opponents, he was much, much better. Is the son of God of the Jun family really invincible? Seeing the current situation, some of the geniuses were dazed. That was Yi Guqin, the reincarnation of the sword demon, who was famous in the Emperor Road. But he was always at a disadvantage against Jun Xiaoyao. And everyone knew that Jun Xiaoyao hadn't used his full strength. If he used his ultimate move that could destroy heaven and earth, Yi Guqin might not be able to survive. Yi Guqin, you're really impressive to be able to last so long against me, Jun Xiaoyao said, even if he hadn't used his full strength. But ordinary geniuses couldn't even take a casual palm strike from him. In comparison, Yi Guqin was much, much stronger. Again, Yi Guqin wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. With a boom, a towering sword will burst out from Yi Guqin's body. The blood-red sword qi swept in all directions. That's the Shura sword will. Rumor has it that Yi Guqin has fused immortal qi into his sword will. Every sword will is immortal qi. Yi Guqin had finally used his true trump card, immortal qi. But unlike ordinary geniuses, his immortal qi had been transformed into sword will. Interesting. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes lit up slightly. This was the advantage of fighting with an expert. He could test his opponent's skills and learn from his own. It wasn't just the Shura sword will. There was also the 5-color divine light bursting out from Yi Guqin's body. That was the 5-element sword will. Lightning flashed out along with the sword light. Lightning sword will. There was also a surge of sword will that carried the image of all living things. That was the sword will of all creation. For streams of sword intent meant that Yi Guqin had refined 4 streams of immortal qi. The Yi family sword demon has 4 immortal qi. Yi Guqin's performance shocked all the surrounding geniuses. One had to know that before refining the divine fetus, Jiang Xingyi only had 3 immortal qi. Even top geniuses like Long Xuhuang only had 3 immortal qi. Jun Xiaoyao, will you be able to take this attack? 4 sword wills gushed out and merged with each other, forming a shocking sword that shot into the galaxy. Then, tens of thousands of sword qi fell like rain, destroying everything in all directions. Heaven and Earth sword. This was the shocking sword that Yi Guqin had used with 4 immortal qi. Tens of thousands of swords came out together, washing the universe with blood. It could be said that this move was so powerful that it could even threaten a sage king expert. Since you have used all your strength, I will let you experience the true power of the Son of God. As Jun Xiaoyao's voice fell, immortal qi also appeared on the surface of his body. Immortal body, immortal qi. Immortal qi of all creation. Reincarnation, immortal qi. Void, immortal qi. Sin, immortal qi. A total of 5 immortal qi wrapped around Jun Xiaoyao's body like dragons. At this moment, there was dead silence in all directions. The galaxy was silent. Chapter 591. I'm not seeing things, am I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strands of immortal qi? That's right, there are 5 strands of immortal qi. Wasn't there 4 before? It seems like the Son of God of the Jun family has another strand of immortal qi after refining the divine fetus. 3 strands of immortal qi on the ancient road of ultimate were considered powerful. 4 strands of immortal qi were enough to compete for the title of king of the Emperor Road. And now, Jun Xiaoyao had revealed a total of 5 strands of immortal qi, causing everyone to tremble. All the Sky Pride's eyes were trembling. A monster, a one-of-a-kind monster. Supreme Du Tuo's eyelids twitched slightly. But for some reason, he felt that Jun Xiaoyao seemed to be hiding something. Jun Xiaoyao blasted out the 6 paths of reincarnation fist, and 5 strands of immortal qi wrapped around his arm. A punch to break the sky. All the sword qi was annihilated by this punch and disappeared without a trace. Puffed. Yi Guqin finally couldn't help but spit out a big mouthful of blood. Among Jun Xiaoyao's 5 strands of immortal qi, there was not only the immortal qi of physical body, but also the immortal qi of all creation. That kind of power was like the reincarnation of the mighty miracle god. His divine power was monstrous and unparalleled. Physical body divine power was not Yi Guqin's specialty. However, his swordsmanship was completely overpowered by Jun Xiaoyao. His 4 sword intents were also suppressed by Jun Xiaoyao's 5 strands of immortal qi. In terms of cultivation level, Yi Guqin could not gain any advantage. It could be said that Yi Guqin was suppressed by Jun Xiaoyao in all aspects. Jun Xiaoyao, could you be the reincarnation of an ancient celestial emperor? Yi Guqin wiped away the blood at the corner of his mouth with the back of his hand and looked straight at Jun Xiaoyao. His question made many sky prides pricked up their ears. Indeed, they also had the same doubts in their hearts. Logically speaking, it was impossible for a freak like Jun Xiaoyao to appear in the world. In front of him, even those ancient freaks were like weak fledglings. But the problem was that Jun Xiaoyao was only in his 20s. No one would believe that such a young anomaly was not the reincarnation of the celestial emperor. Jun Xiaoyao, am just Jun Xiaoyao, not anyone else, Jun Xiaoyao said calmly. Even Goddess Eternal Calamity had said that he was a person without karma. How could he be the reincarnation of an ancient celestial emperor? It seems that no one knows that Master's most terrifying aspect isn't his sacred body of the ancients or his paragon bones, but rather his fateless powers. Goddess of Eternal Calamity saw this. He murmured in his heart. He shook his head slightly. A fateless one? It couldn't be anyone's reincarnation. Unexpectedly, when Yi Guqin heard Jun Xiaoyao's answer, he smiled and said, "Is that so? Me, Yi Guqin? He's just Yi Guqin, not some ancient sword demon. Maybe I used to be someone else, but now I am Yi Guqin, the Grandmaster of the Way of the Sword, Yi Guqin." As soon as Yi Guqin's voice trailed off, an astonishing sword will began to be released, and the entire heavenly law arena began to tremble. It was as if they were about to face some kind of great horror. Feeling this special fluctuation, all the geniuses present felt an extreme sense of fear. This was because when Jun Xiaoyao used the move of Armageddon before, there was also this kind of terrifying fluctuation sweeping out. No way. Is he going to do it again? Does Yi Guqin have a trump card like the son of God of the Jun family? Some geniuses began to instinctively retreat far away, fearing that they would be affected. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes narrowed slightly, and there was a hint of interest in his eyes. He could also feel that Yi Guqin's move was different. This move is the way of the sword that I comprehended when I severed my past and reconstructed my true self. Jun Xiaoyao, you have the right to make me use this move. Yi Guqin's eyes were burning with fighting spirit. This was a move that embodied his will of the way of the sword. It was also his trump card. What? A self-created way of the sword. Hearing this, gasps could be heard from all around. The requirements to create a way of the sword was extremely strict, and it was not something that ordinary people could do. Even if they could do it, most of the self-created moves would have limited power. But now, they could feel the sword will fluctuation emanating from Yi Guqin. This way of the sword was obviously not weak. Yi Guqin held the Emperor Slayer with both hands. The Emperor Slayer let out a buzzing sound, as if it was boiling with Yi Guqin's fighting spirit. Some of the geniuses who cultivated the way of the sword suddenly realized that their swords were involuntarily flying through the air and converging toward Yi Guqin. At the same time, countless swords in the entire Emperor Road rose into the air and gathered into a mighty torrent of sword chi. Their target was the barren heaven battlefield. Yi Guqin's will of the way of the sword had affected the entire Emperor Road. At this moment, the heavenly law arena was trembling. Everyone had a feeling that this move would determine the winner of the Emperor Road's battle. Not enough, still not enough. Sensing the power of his move, Yi Guqin's eyes revealed a look of determination. He lifted his hand and patted his chest, spraying his heart's blood onto the Emperor Slayer. The Emperor Slayer's sword chi became even more intense after being stained with blood, as if it was the ancestor of all swords. With blood as the guide, with my body as the sacrifice, all swords shall greet me. Heed my command. Yi Guqin raised the Emperor Slayer high, his black hair dancing wildly as he let out a long roar. Tribulation of the 10,000 deities. Whoosh! Above the Milky Way, billions of swords came from the depths of the universe, from the Emperor Road, and from various ancient star regions. The scene covered the Milky Way and the universe. There was only one sword in the universe. One sword of the universe. Tribulation of 10,000 deities. The Emperor Slayer in Yi Guqin's hand slashed down. The billions of swords gathered to form a sword that reached the heavens. It was as if it was going to cut off the universe as it swept down. Rumble. The entire heavenly law arena began to sink. The sealing runes that prevented the dermic powers from fluctuating exploded one after another, unable to withstand this terrifying power. Tribulation of 10,000 deities. This was the ultimate way of the sword that Yi Guqin had comprehended after severing his past and reconstructing his true self. This sword made even gods and ghosts sigh. It's too terrifying. Who can block this sword? Yi Guqin's ultimate move made everyone tremble. A glimmer of light finally appeared in Jun Xiaoyao's eyes. Then let's see which of our self-created superpowers is more powerful. Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand, and the power of sin surged. Endless red lines appeared. Each strand represented karma, as well as sinful karma. Jun Xiaoyao was like a god that controlled all karma and sin. He wanted to control sin and send down divine punishment. If Yi Guqin was said to be the demon of the sword at this moment, Jun Xiaoyao was the god of control. Genesis, punishment of gods. With this move, the endless red lines of karma and sin intertwined, entangling the mighty sword. An indescribable wave spread out, as if it was going to destroy 3,000 worlds. The Milky Way reversed, and the ancient star collapsed. The entire heavenly law arena was drowned by the waves of collision. Amidst the violent rumbling, it began to break apart. The other sky prides had already retreated far away. That kind of wave, even if it was just the aftermath, was enough to kill an ordinary sky pride. Everyone was also looking forward to the final result. 10,000 deities, tribulation, and Genesis, which was stronger? Yi Guqin and Jun Xiaoyao, who would win? Chapter 592. Smoke filled the air, and dust flew everywhere. The heavenly law arena, which had existed since time immemorial, was now in pieces. It was as if a continent was about to sink. This is so terrifying. Even the arena is sinking. Some of the geniuses were shocked. The heavenly law arena was covered with sealing runes. No matter how strong the battle was, it would be difficult to damage the arena. Now, the entire arena was on the verge of collapse. It could be seen that the battle between Yi Guqin and Jun Xiaoyao was so intense that it could easily destroy the world. This was simply not like two saints, but more like a battle between two supreme beings. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the arena. Smoke and dust scattered. Jun Xiaoyao's figure was revealed. His robe was as white as snow, and he was spotless. His hands were behind his back. His expression was as calm as the surface of a lake, without any ripples. On the other side, Yi Guqin's figure was also revealed. He knelt on one knee on the ground, holding the Emperor Slayer. Blood kept dripping from the corner of his mouth. It was clear who had won and who had lost. After a breath of dead silence, a deafening uproar was heard. He won. The son of God of the Jun family won. As expected, the son of God of the Jun family is the invincible legend of the younger generation. The legend of invincibility will continue. Jun Xiaoyao is the strongest challenger of the Emperor Road in the Huangtian mystic realm. Exclamations came from all directions. Awe, worship, fanaticism. Jun Xiaoyao was forever a god. Jiang Shengyi, Jiang Luoli, Lord Grimm, Jun Lingsong, and the others were all sincerely happy. Jun Xiaoyao had won the title of the Emperor Road. They were even happier than they were when they won it themselves. As he lost, Yi Nantian, the ancient freak of the Yi family, sighed deeply, although he had vaguely had such a premonition before. But Yi Guqin still gave people the illusion that he could end Jun Xiaoyao's invincible legend. But now, it seemed that it was just an illusion. It seems that other than the outlawed sky prides on the ancient road of the ultimate path, no one else can threaten the Jun family son of God. Yi Nantian sighed. At least among the younger generation of the Huangtian mystic realm, Jun Xiaoyao was the undisputed number one. I've lost. On the broken stage, Yi Guqin slowly stood up and coughed out another mouthful of blood. However, his expression did not show any signs of depression. He just admitted his failure in a calm tone. You should be proud of yourself for being able to withstand my attacks for so long, Jun Xiaoyao said. Yi Guqin shook his head slightly and said, I can feel that you haven't used your full strength. If you had used your full strength, I might not have been able to hold on for so long. Upon hearing Yi Guqin's words, the Sky Prides present nodded in agreement. Indeed, the most shocking thing about Jun Xiaoyao was undoubtedly the combination of the two moves that had killed thousands of people. In this battle, Jun Xiaoyao did not use this move. It was clear that Jun Xiaoyao was still holding back. But was he holding back only? Some Sky Prides suddenly thought of Jun Xiaoyao's sacred physique vision, bones of supremacy, and many other trump cards that he had not used. Strictly speaking, Jun Xiaoyao had indeed held back 100 million moves. In response, Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly and did not comment. If he could defeat his opponent with 1% of his strength, why should he use 10% of his strength? Seeing Jun Xiaoyao's attitude, Yi Guqin sighed in his heart. Then he suddenly laughed. First he chuckled, then he laughed out loud, and finally he looked up to the sky and laughed. What's wrong? Can't Yi Guqin take the blow? Seeing Yi Guqin like this, many people suspected that he was emotionally unstable and that his Taoist heart was about to collapse. After all, anyone who faced a monster like Jun Xiaoyao would have their Taoist heart broken. Ji Xian, the former little saint of the Ji family, was a living example. However, to everyone's surprise, Yi Guqin did not look dispirited after laughing. Instead, there was a hint of excitement in his eyes. How long has it been? I've finally tasted defeat. How lonely it is to stand at the top. Next, I have a new goal, and that is to surpass you, Jun Xiaoyao. Yi Guqin's eyes were burning with fighting spirit. It was not a big deal to admit defeat. What was important was whether he could climb back up after falling. All right, I'll be waiting. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. Yi Guqin was a rare opponent that he had some respect for. In the sky, Supreme Du Tuo saw this scene and murmured, this defeat might not be a bad thing for Yi Guqin. It might be a kind of nirvana and rebirth. At this point, the final battle of the Emperor Road had come to an end. Jun Xiaoyao was, without a doubt, the greatest king. However, Yi Guqin deserved to be number one on the desolate sky saint leaderboard with his self-created 10,000 deities tribulation. No one would mock Yi Guqin, because other than Jun Xiaoyao, it was almost impossible for the other Sky Prides to withstand the 10,000 deities tribulation. Just as the outcome of the battle was decided, runes of the great Tao suddenly spread throughout the heavenly law arena. In the void, flowers fell from the sky, golden lotuses bloomed from the ground, true dragons flew in the sky, Qilin stepped on the sea, and all kinds of auspicious signs appeared. Some Sky Prides were surprised. It seems that the heavenly law's reward is coming. Supreme Du Tuo was not surprised. There were 9 Emperor Roads, and there were 9 Emperor Road Kings. They could receive the heavenly law's reward from their respective immortal realms and receive a boost in luck. I wonder what the heavenly law's reward will be for the Jun family son of God. Many people were looking forward to it. Jun Xiaoyao's performance was absolutely stunning. It was unprecedented. Logically speaking, his heavenly law's reward should be the most generous since ancient times. As expected, on the heavenly law arena, the 5 seals of doctrine rose into the air and released endless brilliance. Then, a shocking scene unfolded. All the seals of doctrine in the entire barren heaven battlefield gathered toward the 5 seals of doctrine. Oh no, my seal of doctrine. My seal of doctrine is gone too. Some of the little giants' expressions changed. They found that the seals of doctrine that they had obtained with great difficulty were flying away on their own. All the Sky Prides, including the Sky Prides of the Jiang family and the Jun family, gathered their seals of doctrine. In the end, a few hundred seals of Tao corroboration were gathered together. Even Supreme Du Tuo was dumbfounded. All the seals of doctrine in the barren heaven mystic realm were gathered together. Did they want to put all their hopes on Jun Xiaoyao alone? Ordinary sky prides who obtained a seal of doctrine were already extremely powerful. Now, hundreds of seals of doctrine gathered together. If all of them were to be used on Jun Xiaoyao, what kind of scene would that be? Jun Xiaoyao was probably going to ascend right away, under everyone's shocked gaze. The hundreds of seals of doctrine emitted endless brilliance. In the end, they merged into a crown. The crown emitted a brilliant glow and was blinding to the eyes. It was accompanied by an aura of the heavens and earth, as if it was the strongest blessing in the world. Supreme Du Tuo's eyes popped out. He couldn't help but exclaim in shock, "That's the heavenly law crown. Whoever wears this crown will definitely become a great emperor." What? Hearing Supreme Du Tuo's words, all the sky prides were dumbfounded and their scalps went numb. Wearing the heavenly law crown would definitely make one a great emperor. That was King cheating. However, when they thought of Jun Xiaoyao's monstrous talent, everyone suddenly felt that the heavenly law crown's reward was reasonable. Under everyone's gaze, the heavenly law crown slowly descended and was about to be placed on Jun Xiaoyao's head. Jun Xiaoyao remained calm. He was not overjoyed because of the heavenly law crown's appearance. To him, becoming a great emperor was almost a certainty. The heavenly law crown was like drawing legs on a snake. It was unnecessary. However, just as the heavenly law crown was about to land on Jun Xiaoyao's head, the god's origin inside Jun Xiaoyao's body shuddered all of a sudden. It was the Tao that belonged to Jun Xiaoyao. Following it, the heavenly law crown suddenly came to a stop. Vaguely, the voice of the great Tao appeared, followed by the vague will of the heavenly Tao. Creating your own great Tao, defying the heavens and earth, an anomaly throughout the ages, forbidding you from achieving your Tao forever. The magnificent voice of the heavenly Tao spread across the desolate heaven battlefield and the Emperor Road. It spread across the Huangtian immortal realm. In the end, every cultivator in the 9 heavens immortal realm heard the same words. The entire 9 heavens immortal realm was in an uproar. Chapter 593. Which immortal realm did the voice come from? The Huangtian immortal realm. It's the Huangtian immortal realm's emperor path. An anomaly who has created his own great Tao has appeared. Who is it? How could he be so talented to be able to create his own path in this era of great battles? Such a person would definitely have the potential to become an immortal in the past. Unfortunately, the anomaly was intimidated by the heavenly path, which blocked his path of cultivation. His path ahead is about to be cut off. It seems like the Huangtian immortal realm has indeed produced a ruthless person. However, it's quite sad too. A peerless genius is about to vanish into the crowd. Many old antiques and living fossils in the 9 heavens immortal realm were awakened. After hearing the great Tao heavenly melody, their faces were filled with shock. Many ancient existences shifted their attention to the Huangtian immortal realm. The will of the 9 heavens immortal realm had not manifested for a long time. The last time it happened was during the invasion of the foreign realm and the collapse of the Xianting. Something that could alarm the will of the 9 heavens immortal realm was definitely something serious. However, the thing that had alarmed the 9 heavens immortal realm was, it was not an invasion of the foreign realm, a disturbance in the forbidden area, or a turbulence in the realm sea. It was all because of one person. Therefore, in the eyes of the will of the 9 heavens immortal realm, the threat of that person was comparable to the invasion of the foreign realm. While the entire 9 heavens immortal realm was in an uproar, in the Huangtian immortal realm, above the Jun family's ancestral hall, 8th ancestor Jun Tianming, 18th ancestor, 16th ancestor, and the others all wore dark expressions. Their eyes were filled with coldness and anger. Screw the heavens. Do you really think the Jun family doesn't dare to do anything? 16th ancestor cursed. His eyes were overflowing with anger. He only had the appearance of a 10-year-old child. The energy inside his body was surging as if it was about to explode. Even with his cultivation and state of mind, The 16th ancestor had lost his composure. It was obvious that he was truly infuriated. What's the point of saying this now? It's unnecessary. 18th ancestor shook his head slightly. Back then, the June family almost succeeded even though it was split. In the end, it was this son of a bitch's will of the immortal realm. 16th ancestor could not help but swear. A long time ago, the June family wanted to replace the Xian Ting and become the dominator of the Nine Heavens immortal realm. But in the end, the world had no idea why. Only the June family knew. Other than the division of the family and the obstruction of the supreme Xian Ting, there was also the effect of the will of the celestial realm. Otherwise, how could they rely on a collapsed supreme Xian Ting? It would be difficult to curb the ambitions of the June family. Forget it. Let's not talk about the past. In this era of great strife, are you afraid that our June family won't have a chance? What we need to pay attention to now is Xiaoyao's Dao confirmation. June Tianming said, "Indeed, even if Xiaoyao's talent is monstrous, he won't be able to do anything. But with this restriction, to him, there are some obstacles as well." The 18th ancestor said. Did he watch Jun Xiaoyao grow up? He already had feelings for Jun Xiaoyao, as if he were his grandson. It doesn't matter. Can't you achieve your Dao in the Nine Heavens immortal realm? Then go to the other side? Go into the realm sea? Jun Tanming said domineeringly. Even if you go to the boundless land outside the realm, would you still be afraid that you won't be able to attain your Dao? If he was an ordinary genius, to be restricted like this, that was practically hopeless for him to attain the Dao. But for the Jun family, they had the confidence and the ability to do so. Let Jun Xiaoyao go to a farther place to attain the Dao. Haha, is that so? When Xiaoyao attains the Dao and becomes an emperor, the will of the mystic realm won't be able to do anything to him. If Xiaoyao can become an immortal, then he can overturn the world and re-establish the order of the world. The 16th ancestor laughed. I think that with Xiaoyao's stubborn personality, he will definitely not be willing to run away. Instead, he will choose to continue attaining the Dao in the mystic realm. That will depend on his own choice. Let him be, Jun Tianming said. I believe that Xiaoyao will succeed. When he attains the Dao and becomes an immortal, he will go against the damned heavens. The 16th ancestor laughed. Rumble. At that moment, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled in the sky above the Jun family. It was as if their conversation had violated some kind of taboo. Just you wait. Jun Tianming and the others just sneered at the sky without saying anything. The Jun family had been lying low for a long time just to wait for an opportunity. And Jun Xiaoyao was the key. At the Heavenly Law Arena in the barren heaven battlefield, all the geniuses were stunned. They didn't expect the situation to take such a 360-degree turn. Just a moment ago, the Heavenly Law crown was crowned. If he wore it, he would be destined to become a great emperor. But in the next moment, he fell from heaven to hell. Jun Xiaoyao couldn't attain the Dao. Did you guys hear that? The Heavenly Law voice said that the Son of God of the Jun family has walked his own path. No wonder the Son of God of the Jun family is such a monster. He has already taken that step. What a monster. But this also means that the Son of God of the Jun family will never be able to attain the Dao. Does that mean that the Son of God of the Jun family can only cultivate to the level of a quasi-emperor at most, and can't truly become a great emperor? Although a quasi-emperor is already very strong, it's still not enough in this world of great battles. Many geniuses were whispering to each other. How could this be? The faces of Jiang Shengyi and the others changed. They didn't expect this to happen. On the other hand, Ji Qingyi, who was watching the battle from the side, had a look of realization on her face. Previously, Jun Xiaoyao walked his own path in the lower world. It's destined to be a path that defies the heavens. The heavens won't allow it to exist. Now that the Heavenly Law voice has spoken, Jun Xiaoyao won't be able to break through. He won't be a threat to the successor of the sect of human immortals. Ji Qingyi murmured in her heart. But strangely, she didn't feel happy. Instead, there was a thoughtful look in her eyes. Goddess Eternal Calamity also murmured in her heart. As expected, the fateless ones are existences that even the heavenly law is afraid of. It won't allow them to attain the Tao. At this moment, no one present mocked or ridiculed Jun Xiaoyao. They only sighed and felt pity. He was a genius who had shocked the ancients and dazzled the contemporaries. But now, his path forward had been forcefully restricted. The worst thing was that the will of the immortal domain had only spoken after the heavenly law crown was formed. This was simply killing someone's heart. Any other genius wouldn't be able to bear such a difference. Their Tao heart would be shaken. Even Supreme, Du Tua sighed. It was such a pity. If Jun Xiaoyao, who was already a genius, combined with the heavenly law crown, his talent and strength would definitely be the most monstrous existence in history. There was no one who could compare to him. Everyone looked at Jun Xiaoyao. To their surprise, Jun Xiaoyao's face was very calm. It was so calm that there wasn't even the slightest ripple. Could it be that the son of God of the Jun family is having a breakdown on the inside? Some people asked suspiciously. Hee. Finally, Jun Xiaoyao laughed. It was a sneer, a mockery to the heavens. The ancestor of the Jun family, the heaven-abandoning great emperor, once said that the heavenly law crown is just a burden. I'll attain the Tao and become an immortal through 10,000 tribulations. If I, Jun Xiaoyao, want to become an immortal, why would I need the approval of the heavenly law? Jun Xiaoyao was a transmigrator with peerless talent and the system. Ever since he was born, he had swept through everything and had never tasted defeat. His monstrous appearance had suppressed all eternity. In front of him, what was the heavens? Did they have a right to block his path? Hearing this, the expressions of the geniuses present were very interesting. Jun Xiaoyao was probably the only one in the younger generation who dared to talk back to the heavens. Heavens, do you want to prove that I can't beat you? Why don't we set up a bet? Jun Xiaoyao raised his head and looked up at the starry sky. His tone was calm, but it was a shocking sound. When I, the Son of God, attain the Tao and become an immortal, I will definitely destroy the heavenly law and rebuild the order of heaven and earth. As soon as his words fell, the universe shook. Chapter 594. The void shook for thousands of miles, and the galaxy was overturned. Thunder rumbled in the depths of the universe. That was the rumbling of the chaotic lightning tribulation. Jun Xiaoyao's words angered the heavens. All the sky prides trembled, and their faces turned pale. Under this heavenly might, they felt as small as ants. Is the Jun family son of God crazy? Is he going against the heavens? No matter how strong he is, he can't go against the will of the celestial realm. Everyone exclaimed and was shocked. Jun Xiaoyao had no scruples. He was frivolous to the core. Who can play against the heavens? I, Jun Xiaoyao, can. Not only that, I want to beat the heavens by half a step. Jun Xiaoyao said with a smile. His long hair danced in the wind, and he was full of immortal energy. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao's heroic appearance was deeply engraved in everyone's eyes. Since ancient times, there had been countless geniuses, but only Jun Xiaoyao dared to challenge the heavens and play against the heavens. What? You don't dare? Jun Xiaoyao stood in the sky with his hands behind his back. Rumble. Thunder rumbled in the depths of the universe. Billions of thunderbolts intertwined, and the great Tao rumbled, forming an extremely terrifying scene. Even Supreme Du Tua wore a stern look when he sensed the heavenly might. Suddenly, 7 rays of light shot out from the depths of the universe's chaos. Then, they floated above Jun Xiaoyao. Everyone took a closer look and found that there were 7 seals. Those seals were similar to the seal of Tao affirmation, but they were different. The aura was much stronger than the ordinary seal of Tao affirmation. It felt like dozens of seals of Tao affirmation had merged together to form these 7 seals. However, compared to the heavenly Tao crown formed by hundreds of seals of Tao affirmation, it was still much weaker. Could that be the seal of Tao affirmation? Supreme Du Tua couldn't help but exclaim when he saw the 7 seals. The seal of Tao affirmation was much stronger than the ordinary seal of Tao affirmation. In the past, when the Emperor Road opened, there had been geniuses who had obtained the seal of Tao affirmation. However, even in the most prosperous era before, only 2 or 3 seal of Tao affirmation had appeared. And now, 7 of them had appeared at the same time. This was simply too confusing. As these 7 Tao verification Emperor seals appeared, the heavenly sound of the great Tao started to resound throughout the universe. The seal of the 7 emperors, defying the 7 emperors, slaying the anomalies of the ages, and obtaining the heavenly Tao's coronation. The voice spread across the 9 heavens' immortal realm. The 7 seals of Tao realization tore the space apart and scattered across the 9 heavens' immortal realm. No one could capture the trajectory of these Tao verification Emperor seals. No one knew which prodigies would be able to obtain the 7 Tao verification Emperor seals. The 7 defiant emperors? Could it be that? Will there be 7 sovereigns who will fuse with the 7 Emperor seals of Tao validation to deal with the Son of God of the Jun family? Very likely. Didn't you hear? Slaying the ancient anomalies and obtaining the heavenly Tao's coronation. What he meant was, who among the sovereigns who obtained the 7 marks of proving the way could kill the divine child of the Jun family? Whoever can replace him will be crowned the heavenly Tao crown. Many geniuses were having a heated discussion. Their eyes were filled with astonishment. The will of the 9 heavens immortal realm had accepted Jun Xiaoyao's challenge. It had set up 7 chess pieces to trap and kill Jun Xiaoyao. Who could kill Jun Xiaoyao? Whoever could obtain the heavenly Tao crown would have the chance to become a martial monarch. No one could resist the temptation of achieving the martial monarch realm. Interesting. This is very interesting. It's a rare game, a duel between the Son of God of the Jun family and the heavenly Tao. Everyone fixed their eyes on Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao was the first person to challenge the heavens' immortal realm. Jun Xiaoyao remained calm when he saw the 7 emperors' seals flying across the sky, setting up 7 chess pieces to trap and kill me. Are you trying to play a game of survival? Or do you think I'm a final boss? Jun Xiaoyao said with a hollow grin. It felt like 7 warriors teaming up to slay an evil dragon. And he, Jun Xiaoyao, was the super evil dragon. Humph, interesting. Jun Xiaoyao will accept the challenge. Jun Xiaoyao flung his sleeves and glared at the heavens. He would let the will of the 9 heavens immortal realm and everyone else know. The 7 chess pieces were too weak to withstand a single blow from him. The tribulation of chaos deep inside the universe dissipated. It was obvious that the will of the 9 heavens immortal realm had set up a trial. 7 geniuses of the martial dominator realm were qualified to challenge Jun Xiaoyao. The geniuses chosen by the will of the heavens immortal realm were most likely peerless geniuses. Their cultivation would not be too weak. The geniuses chosen by the will of the 9 heavens immortal realm must be extremely terrifying. If they merge with the Emperor seals of Tao confirmation, they might actually pose a great threat to the Son of God of the Jun family. That's right, those geniuses are definitely forbidden existences on the ancient road of ultimate. Many geniuses were excited. Who had ever seen a duel with the heavens' immortal realm? I must go to the ancient road of ultimate and witness the end of the Son of God of the Jun family with my own eyes. That's right, I'm curious to see if the Son of God of the Jun family can carve out his own path in the era of great battles. Meanwhile, the heavenly Tao crown shuddered slightly, as if it was going to soar into the sky. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head and said coldly, "Even if I can't merge with it, it's still mine." Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand. The myriad Qi cauldron rose into the sky and suppressed the heavenly Tao crown. The heavenly Tao crown shuddered vigorously while emitting the brilliance of the great Tao. However, wisps of myriad Qi poured down from the myriad Qi cauldron like a huge mountain. Following a loud bang, following a loud crash, the heavenly Tao crown broke into hundreds of Emperor seals of Tao confirmation. The Emperor seals of Tao confirmation scattered in all directions. Jun Xiaoyao raised his hand and executed the third seal of the immortal forbidding seal. In an instant, the surrounding void was branded with sealing runes, imprisoning the Emperor's seals of Tao confirmation. Then, the myriad Qi cauldron fell and suppressed the hundreds of Emperor's seals of Tao confirmation. Dead silence. All the geniuses around were dumbfounded. Jun Xiaoyao was too overbearing. He was biting off a piece of meat from the heavenly Tao. As expected, the Son of God is the Son of God. He doesn't play by the rules. A little giant smiled bitterly. Now, all the Emperor's seals of Tao confirmation in the Huangtian mystic realm were in Jun Xiaoyao's hands. The other geniuses did not have a single Emperor's seal of Tao confirmation. For a moment, many geniuses looked at Jun Xiaoyao with burning eyes. Even some of the men looked at him with burning eyes, as if they were looking at a peerless beauty. The nine-headed lion rubbed its claws and coughed dryly. Well, Master, I've been lacking Emperor seals of Tao confirmation recently. Jun Xiaoyao smiled slightly when he saw this. Although he could not integrate the Emperor seals of Tao confirmation himself, he could go to the ancient road of ultimate and exchange it for treasures with other geniuses. Or he could give it to his own people. Both were good choices. Jun Xiaoyao would not throw away this fat piece of meat. Sister Xingyi, Luo Li, cousin, and Yu, come here and get your Emperor seals of Tao confirmation, Jun Xiaoyao said with a smile. As a result, the strangest scene on the entire Emperor's Road appeared. A scene that was absolutely impossible to see in the past appeared in front of them. Jun Xiaoyao was like a wholesaler selling Emperor seals of Tao confirmation at a discount. Of course, these relatives and friends did not want to pay. As for the other geniuses, they all wanted to cry, but had no tears. Especially those geniuses who did not have a good relationship with the Jun family or had conflicts with them. They were about to cry. This was too much. In the past, countless geniuses fought desperately for the Emperor's seals of Tao confirmation. Now, they were all in Jun Xiaoyao's pocket and were given away like cabbages. In the crowd, a beautiful woman with a jade-like face bit her lip and stomped her feet. She was so angry that her teeth itched. She also wanted an Emperor's seal of Tao confirmation. How could she move Jun Xiaoyao? Chapter 595. At this moment, the strangest scene was happening in the heavenly Tao arena. Jun Xiaoyao stood beside the myriad Qi cauldron and handed out seals of Tao affirmation as if they were cabbages. There were hundreds of seals of Tao affirmation. Jun Xiaoyao had no use for them, but he could give some to his friends and family first. He was merciless when harvesting his enemies, even digging up their roots. However, he was never stingy with his own people. Sister Xingyi, how many do you need? Jun Xiaoyao asked. Seeing this scene, many women's eyes turned red with jealousy. Jun Xiaoyao did not say how many he wanted to give. Instead, he gave as many as Jiang Xingyi wanted. I don't need too many. A few are enough. Jiang Xingyi also felt a sweetness in her heart. Jun Xiaoyao obviously treated her the best out of all of them. All right, Jun Xiaoyao waved his hand and gave Jiang Xingyi 20 seals of Tao affirmation. Holy sh**. All the sky prides sucked in a deep breath, their eyes turning red. Those were 20 seals of Tao affirmation. If they could refine and fuse with them, they could definitely become an outlawed sky pride. That's too much. Jiang Xingyi was also surprised and happy. What about me? Jiang Luoli asked in a soft voice. You too. Jun Xiaoyao also gave Jiang Luoli 20 seals of Tao affirmation. Brother Xiaoyao is the best. Jiang Luoli smiled brightly, two deep dimples appearing on her pretty face. What about me? What about me? Xiao Maxian raised her hand and shouted. Jun Xiaoyao also gave out seals of Tao affirmation. Xiao Maxian was overjoyed, the smile on her face unable to fade. Her decision to befriend Jun Xiaoyao back then could not have been more wise. After that, Lord Grimm, Jun Lingsong, and the other sequences of the Jun family naturally obtained a lot of seals of proving the way. There were also Jun Xiaoyao's followers, Yu, Yin Qingying, and Goddess Eternal Calamity, who had also obtained the seal of proving the way. As for the river of forgetfulness that had yet to arrive, he would also leave some for him. In addition, the nine-headed lion, Princess Longji, golden-winged roc, Mui Wehan, Xiao Xian and Jiang Tanyan of the Jiang family were also given seals of proving of Tao. Seeing that those people were able to obtain the seal of proving doctrine so effortlessly, all the geniuses were so jealous that they felt like they were about to explode. Ji Qing shook her head. It was impossible for her to not feel a ripple in her heart. However, she also knew that Jun Xiaoyao would never give her the seal of verification, even for the sake of the successor of the Ren Immortal sect. Therefore, Ji Qing left directly. Out of sight, out of mind. In the crowd, there was another woman with a graceful body and a perfect face, Yin Rumeng. Her emotions were very unstable. Previously, she had obtained a seal of verification with great difficulty. In the end, it had been taken away. Now that she saw Jun Xiaoyao giving her the seal of verification, she felt very indignant. However, Yin Rumeng was not a fool. Now, she wanted to use force to take the seal of verification from Jun Xiaoyao. She could only say that she was dreaming. However, Yin Ryu really wanted the seal of verification. Biting her lips slightly, Yin Rumeng strode over to Jun Xiaoyao with her long legs. Seeing Yin Rumeng, Jun Xiaoyao raised his eyebrows slightly. What's the matter? Jun Xiaoyao said lightly. Him and Yin Rumeng? There was no big grudge between them. They had some small conflicts before. However, it was not a big deal. Seeing Jun Xiaoyao's attitude, Yin Rumeng secretly gritted her teeth. When they were in the lower realm, Jun Xiaoyao had once pinched her calf and asked her what her true form was. This despicable guy, even if he was already a king in Emperor Road. However, his attitude still made her very unhappy. I want the seal of verification. Yin Rumeng exhaled softly, calming herself down, and said, Are we close? Jun Xiaoyao said lightly, Is there a seal of verification among them? It used to belong to me, Yin Rumeng said. You know that it used to belong to me, but it's mine now. Jun Xiaoyao's attitude was cold. You? Yin Rumeng stomped her feet. She really wanted to bite Jun Xiaoyao. Of course. It's not impossible for you to have it. However, what's the price? Jun Xiaoyao's tone was slightly playful. Yin Rumeng took a deep breath, her chest rising and falling. Suddenly, a smile appeared on her face. You kept touching my legs when you were in the lower realm. Don't you like it now? My legs are not bad. Yin Rumeng's words were a little shocking. Many prodigies looked at Jun Xiaoyao with admiration. She was indeed a romantic young man, let alone a peerless figure like Jun Xiaoyao. Big brother Xiaoyao, what is this woman talking about? Jiang Luoli puffed her cheeks and said angrily. Was he bullying her because she had short legs? Jiang Xingyi lowered her eyes and did not say a word. After a while, she said in a weak voice, Xiaoyao, if you really like me, you don't have to find someone else. Can't you have my legs? Jiang Xingyi's slender and beautiful legs could definitely be played with for 100 years. Ahem. Jun Xiaoyao coughed dryly. Yin Rumeng was here to play dirty, splashing dirty water on him. He was careless and did not dodge. Of course, this was just a small episode. In the end, Yin Rumeng exchanged a piece of information for a seal of proving of way. The information was that the little demon empress of the demon god palace had her eyes on Jun Xiaoyao. Damn, the little demon empress, the ruler of the demon god palace, one of the most beautiful women in the Huangtian mystic realm. Ah, it's good to be handsome. Looks like even if Jun Xiaoyao can't prove his Tao and become a great emperor in the future, he can rely on his face to live off women. The prodigies looked at him with envy. So what if he was imprisoned by the heavenly Tao? Cultivation was a temporary thing, but being handsome was a lifelong thing. In the end, everyone around Jun Xiaoyao received a seal of proving of way. Jun Xiaoyao still had more than 100 seals of proving of way left. Do you need them? Jun Xiaoyao looked at Yi Guqin. Yi Guqin shook his head slightly and said, No, but before I challenge you next time, don't die. As soon as Yi Guqin finished speaking, he put the Emperor Slayer on his back and turned to leave. His back was cold and arrogant, like a lone wolf. Jun Xiaoyao smiled faintly. Having such an opponent was one of the joys of life. After that, Jun Xiaoyao put away the 100 or so seals approving of Wei. They might be useful in the future. The Emperor's Road of the Huangtian mystic realm had finally come to an end. There was no doubt that Jun Xiaoyao was the king of the Emperor's Road of the Huangtian mystic realm. However, he was different from the other kings of the Emperor's Road. As the king of the Emperor's Road, Jun Xiaoyao would not be blessed by the Huangtian mystic realm's fate. He could not even merge with the seals approving of Wei. He even started a game with the will of the mystic realm. In the future, he would fight against the 7 chess pieces of the heavenly path, the 7 emperors. It could be said that everyone would pay attention to the battle between Jun Xiaoyao and the 7 emperors. The 7 warriors would challenge Jun Xiaoyao's position as the big boss. Whoever could kill Jun Xiaoyao would be crowned with the heavenly path crown. The master of the heavenly book, the 7 emperors, the other kings of the Emperor's Road, and the outlawed sky prides. It seems that the ancient road of ultimate will not be too boring. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was calm. The Emperor's Road of the Huangtian mystic realm was child's play to him. It was not challenging at all. Even the strongest person on the saint leaderboard, Yi Guqin, could not pose any threat to him. It was lonely to be at the top, and it was lonely to be invincible. Don't let me down, all enemies in the road ahead. I, the Son of God, will grant you the chance to challenge the gods. Jun Xiaoyao put his hands behind his back and looked like a god. He stood in the starry sky like the most powerful boss, looking at the ancient road of ultimate ahead. Chapter 596. The Huangtian Immortal Realm's monarch path had come to an end. However, the entire 9 Heavens Immortal Realm was in an uproar because of the battle between Jun Xiaoyao and the will of the heavenly path, especially the 7 emperors that the great Tao of heavenly Tao mentioned. Everyone was curious to know who the 7 emperors that were able to acquire the seal of Tao validation and challenge the rare ones were. On the monarch path of a certain immortal realm, inside a magnificent ancient heaven palace, a young figure with a terrifying aura was sitting with his legs crossed in a brilliant glow. 5 wisps of immortal qi circled his body, emitting an overwhelming aura. He was like a heavenly emperor hovering above the 9 heavens. At that instant, a ray of light pierced the sky and landed in the heaven palace, floating in front of the terrifying figure. It was the seal of Tao validation with the aura of the great Tao. The young figure slowly reached out his hand. His palm was covered in runes, like the hand of an ancient deity. He grabbed the seal of Tao validation in his hand and scanned it with his divine sense. He immediately understood everything. Humph! I see, a ruler of the monarch path that even the heavenly path doesn't acknowledge. How ridiculous! The figure spoke with a cold and disdainful tone. 7 emperors are indeed making a mountain out of a molehill to deal with someone like him. But the heavenly Tao crown is mine. As soon as he finished speaking, the figure didn't hesitate to fuse the emperor's seal of Tao verification into his body. Once it merged with his body, it meant he had accepted the challenge. Rumble. Inside the ancient heaven palace, the aura of the great Tao circulated as an auspicious sign took place. In a single breath, a 6th and 7th strands of immortal qi appeared on the young man's body. After merging with the seal of Tao validation, he immediately had 2 extra wisps of immortal qi. Meanwhile, his cultivation had improved once again, reaching the great perfection stage of the sacred realm. Currently, not many among the younger generation were able to reach the great perfection stage of the sacred realm. Most of them were in the forbidden realm. Meanwhile, some of the followers outside the heaven palace were in awe and admiration when they sensed the terrifying aura inside the heaven palace. Master Gu Tizi's cultivation has improved again. Yes, with Lord Gu Tizi's strength, he will definitely be able to restore the reputation of the supreme Xian Ting. Together with Lady Ling Yan, the name of the supreme Xian Ting will spread across the 9 heavens immortal realm once again. The tone of these followers was filled with incomparable fanaticism. In another blessed enclave that was full of immortal qi, a peerless figure was shrouded in immortal light. An emperor seal of Tao verification also floated in front of her. The beautiful figure slowly stretched out her slender hand and grabbed the emperor seal of Tao verification. However, it didn't immediately fuse into his body. What kind of peerless figure is he that he needs to be targeted by 7 rulers? This has piqued my interest. The beautiful figure played with the emperor seal of Tao verification for a while before finally putting it away. Although the heavenly Tao crown is very attractive, it's not that easy to make me a chess piece, the voice murmured softly. Her voice was as pleasant as the sounds of nature. She decided to investigate first before making a judgment. On top of that, the remaining 5 emperor seals of Tao verification were also searched for suitable candidates. All in all, it was because of the game between Jun Xiaoyao and the heavenly Tao. The ancient road, which was not peaceful to begin with, became even more turbulent. Apart from the 7 rulers chosen by the heavenly Tao, the rest of the rulers of the Emperor Road and the outlawed Sky Prides were very interested when they heard that an extraordinary one had appeared in the Huangtian immortal realm. Their eyes were burning with battle intent. Without exception, all of them wanted to step on Jun Xiaoyao and rise to the top. Whoever killed Jun Xiaoyao would immediately become famous on the ancient road of ultimate, spreading their name across the 9 heavens immortal realm. They could even replace the 7 defiant sovereigns and claim the heavenly Tao crown. Therefore, some of the outlawed Sky Prides began to sharpen their weapons and prepare for the battle. Meanwhile, in the Huangtian immortal realm, the news about Jun Xiaoyao was also spreading like wildfire. The forces of the ancient star domain that were angry and dissatisfied with Jun Xiaoyao, such as the Tianyao Jin dynasty and the War Demon Cave, were all gloating and secretly mocking him. The heavenly Tao has its own reincarnation. This is the consequence of Jun Xiaoyao's killing. That's right. He has such talent, but can't attain the Tao. Isn't this more painful than killing him? The wicked will be punished by the heavens. In the end, Jun Xiaoyao's fate is nothing more than a sad exit. These forces did not dare to openly mock him because of the Jun family's reputation. However, they were secretly gloating over his misfortune and were very happy. They were not the only ones. Many people also thought that Jun Xiaoyao was not in a good mood right now. After all, the pressure of going against the heavenly Tao was too great. If it were anyone else, it would be difficult for them to relax. Even if one lost in a battle, there was still a chance to turn things around. However, Jun Xiaoyao was fighting against the heavens. There was only one result if he failed, and that was death. Many cultivators thought that Jun Xiaoyao should be crazily cultivating under the pressure and making all kinds of preparations. However, the truth was, at this moment, in a private courtyard overflowing with immortal qi in Hanga Pass. A spirit spring was located in the middle, and the spiritual qi was dense like mist. Jun Xiaoyao was half immersed in the spirit spring, and his entire body was relaxed and comfortable. His back was leaning against Jiang Xingyi's delicate body. Jiang Xingyi was only wearing a tight-fitting undergarment that was soaked in a mist, outlining her hazy and beautiful curves. She was massaging Jun Xiaoyao's shoulders. Although Jiang Xingyi was also worried about the game between Jun Xiaoyao and the heavenly Tao, she was more confident in Jun Xiaoyao. She believed in Jun Xiaoyao. Even such a difficult challenge was just a slightly more troublesome test for him. Xiaoyao, are you comfortable? Jiang Xingyi asked gently. Of course I'm comfortable. Who in this world can make a goddess like Sister Xingyi serve them like this? Jun Xiaoyao was relaxed and comfortable. The world probably thought that he was under great pressure now. They didn't know that he was even more relaxed and enjoying himself than before. The more the heavenly Tao oppressed him, the more carefree he was. Jiang Xingyi blushed when she heard this. Jun Xiaoyao was getting better and better at flirting. At this moment, footsteps suddenly sounded beside the spirit spring. Who is it? Jiang Xingyi was slightly surprised. This was her private courtyard, and no one could come close. Sister Xingyi. In the mist, Jiang Luoli walked over with a blushing face and a veil covering her naked body with both hands. I want to take a bath too. Jiang Luoli rolled her eyes and said weakly. Although she said this, her eyes were constantly glancing at Jun Xiaoyao. It was clear that she had an ulterior motive. Humph, there's also me. A soft snort sounded out. Xiao Maxian had also followed. She also wore a thin undergarment. Her small face was half pure and half charming. She looked mischievous. Who told you to come? Jiang Luoli arched an eyebrow. What? You're here and I can't come. Xiao Maxian said. When the two Lolas met, they would always quarrel. However, to everyone's astonishment, Yin Qingying actually came as well. Her temperament was dark and cold, but at this moment she was also a bit red. Young master, Qingying has come to massage your legs. Then, Princess Longji, Mu Yuehan, Jun Mulan, and Jun Xuehuang all arrived. They all wore thin undergarments, revealing their graceful curves and snow-white arms and legs. In fact, even Xiao Xianer had come. Jun Xiaoyao was stunned. After a moment, he said, Are you going to have a group exercise? Chapter 597. The women around Jun Xiaoyao were all tall and thin, each with their own unique temperament. Some were cold and elegant. Some were delicate. Some were gentle. Some were noble. It could be said that if any other man could obtain one of them, that would be the greatest fortune of 3 lifetimes. But to Jun Xiaoyao, he had seen so many of them that he was actually quite ordinary. He wasn't a saint who was pure of heart and few desires, but he also wasn't a walking cannon. Before he truly reached his goal, he wouldn't stop for anyone. What? You don't welcome me? Then I'll leave. Jun Mulan said as she supported her heavy chest. Everyone, please do as you wish. Jun Xiaoyao smiled and shook his head. Little big brother Xiaoyao, with so many beauties accompanying you, you should be content. This is the 7-step fall that I brought. Xiao Maxian giggled as she took out a large jug of wine. 7-step fall meant that after drinking, one would fall down after taking 7 steps. Big brother Xiaoyao, I'll pour you some wine. Jiang Luoli took the initiative to take the wine cup and pour Jun Xiaoyao some wine. Yin Qingying sat down on the other side of Jun Xiaoyao, massaging his legs. Jun Xuehuang wore a blue dress and sat on the other side of Jun Xiaoyao, massaging his back. In a way, this could be considered a group exercise. Jun Xiaoyao took the wine cup that Jiang Luoli poured and drank it all. Is this the feeling of being drunk on a beauty's lap? No wonder everyone wants to be an emperor. But I, Jun Xiaoyao, am 10,000 times better than an emperor, Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao smiled. As if he still wasn't satisfied, he tossed aside the wine cup and began to drink. Little big brother Xiaoyao, do you want to be drunk for 3 years? Xiao Maxian shouted out. After drinking this jug of wine, even if an ordinary proud son of heaven didn't die, it wouldn't be a problem for them to be drunk for several years. But Jun Xiaoyao didn't care. With his physique and cultivation, it was impossible for him to get drunk. However, Jun Xiaoyao did not deliberately suppress his drunkenness. He wanted to get drunk. Jun Xiaoyao casually recited as he drank. Born to be the leader of men, only I and the heavens share the same lifespan. Treading on the waves of the mortal world with 2 feet, shouldering the worries of the past and present with 1 shoulder. 30 achievements, dust and soil, 8,000 miles of cloud and moon. Don't be idle. You've lost your youth, and it's empty and sorrowful. East of the great river, after all the waves have been washed away, there's only me, Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao drank a pot of wine, black hair fluttering in the wind, free and unrestrained. He was like an immortal in wine. As he chanted, his arrogance soared to the heavens. It swept up the sun, moon, and stars, and shook the firmament. At this moment, the entire Hangu Pass was shaking. What's going on? What happened? It's the son of God of the Jun family. He seems to be reciting a poem. The son of God of the Jun family is still in the mood to recite poetry. Born to be the leader of men, only I and the heavens share the same lifespan. Is the son of God of the Jun family comparing himself to the heavens, provoking the heavens? Some of the geniuses were carefully analyzing the poem. They trembled for a moment. Don't be idle. You've lost your youth, and it's empty and sorrowful. Some cultivators muttered. Why? They were actually touched. Tears flowed from their eyes. This emperor's road was too cruel. It was so cruel that some of the geniuses' Tao hearts collapsed, unable to persist at all. They were either dispirited in Imperial Pass or preparing to return home. However, at this moment, when they heard this poem, some of the geniuses' eyes gradually lit up. The son of God of the June family is so heroic even when playing against the heavens. What do our difficulties count for? That's right. You've lost your youth, and it's empty and sorrowful. I will continue on this path. Even if I'm destined to be ordinary in the end, I will torment myself until I die. This is the path that belongs to me. Many cultivators were affected, and their eyes reddened. There were even some who bowed deeply at 90 degrees to Jun Xiaoyao's residence. Jun Xiaoyao's words woke them up. He let them know what it meant to fight against the heavens. It was endless joy. At this moment, next to the spiritual spring in the courtyard, all the women present seemed to have become infatuated. At this moment, Jun Xiaoyao was wearing a simple white robe. He held a wine pot in one hand and recited a poem. His heroic spirit was boundless between heaven and earth. His figure swayed, as if he was drunk but not drunk. His handsome face was free and unrestrained. His drunken state was like a jade mountain that was about to collapse. What a breathtaking scene this was. It could simply capture the heart of any woman in an instant. Unfortunately, only the women present could appreciate it. The great river flows east, and the waves are washed away. Among the outstanding figures of the ages, only I, Xiaoyao, Jiang Xingyi muttered. The more she thought about it, the more she liked it. This was her sweetheart, a peerless man who hid the sun and moon in his chest, whose aura shook the world. Big brother Xiaoyao. Jiang Luoli was intoxicated as she listened. Jun Xiaoyao was too outstanding, so outstanding that she couldn't extricate herself. I never thought that little big brother Xiaoyao would be like this when he's drunk. It's a bit too handsome. Xiao Maxian's face was flushed red when she said that she would find a way to become Jun Xiaoyao's concubine. The truth was that she was joking. But now, she discovered that her heart really was moved. His talent is unparalleled. His talent is shocking. Mui Wehan muttered to herself, also dazed. She never thought that Jun Xiaoyao would not only have unparalleled talent and unparalleled strength, but he would also have such talent. A casual poem from him was filled with heroic spirit. It was enough to be a classic that would be passed down through the ages. The arrogant Princess Longji could only sigh in admiration. Her eyes couldn't help but shine. The word perfect seemed to be created for Jun Xiaoyao. This boy Xiaoyao, he really likes to show off, Jun Milan mumbled. Although she said this, her face was still a bit red. It was hard to imagine that even this tomboy would blush. Finally, Jun Xiaoyao passed out drunk. He had allowed himself to be drunk on his own initiative. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for him to be drunk even if he drank 10,000 bottles of seven-step wine. Jiang Xingyi and the other women were also drunk. They weren't drunk. They were drunk because of Jun Xiaoyao. The next day, when they woke up, they didn't see Jun Xiaoyao's figure. Xiaoyao. Jiang Xingyi's heart trembled. They still needed to refine the seal of Tao affirmation in Hanga Pass, so it was impossible for them to step onto the ancient ultimate road so early. At this time, outside the courtyard, there was a loud commotion. Jiang Xingyi and the other women put on their clothes and went out. They saw Lord Grimm and the others. "Where is Xiaoyao?" Jiang Xingyi asked, her heart tightening. Jiang Luoli and the others were also worried. Lord Grimm sighed. "Go to the city gate and take a look." Then, the group arrived at the exit of Hanga Pass. They found that a large group of prodigies had gathered here. Even Supreme Du Tuo was there. Their gazes fell on the city wall. Jiang Xingyi glanced over and saw 2 lines of words engraved on the city wall. "When I become an immortal, I dare the sun and moon to change the heavens." The boldness of the strokes stunned the ages. Their heroic spirits soared to the heavens. Among the younger generation, there was only one person who could have such boldness, Jun Xiaoyao. "He's already left," Jiang Xingyi muttered absent-mindedly. A tear fell from the corner of her eye. There was no farewell. There was no goodbye. After getting drunk, Jun Xiaoyao stepped onto the ancient road of ultimate all by himself. The strong were always lonely. Chapter 598. Outside Hanga Pass, deep in the starry sky. Looking back at Hanga Pass, Jun Xiaoyao retracted his gaze and let out a soft sigh. There would be a lot of trouble on the ancient ultimate road. If he traveled with Jiang Xingyi and the others, it would inevitably affect them. Moreover, to enter the ancient ultimate road, he had to pass through the Dragon Gate. At that time, he might not necessarily land in the same place. Therefore, Jun Xiaoyao had already planned to travel alone. Sorry, Xingyi, Luo Li, and everyone else. I will wait for you on the road ahead. Jun Xiaoyao knew that whether it was the sequence of the Jun family or Jiang Xingyi and the other women, they were all stubborn and had their own perseverance. Although traveling with Jun Xiaoyao on the ancient ultimate road would allow them to be protected and their lives would not be in danger, it was not necessarily a good thing for them. Everyone needed to be tempered. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly and calmed himself down. He was not the kind of person who would be sad over the passing of seasons. Let's continue moving forward. My road is still very long. Jun Xiaoyao felt relieved and smiled slightly. His game with the heavenly path had just begun. There seemed to be no end to the desolate universe. It had been several months since Jun Xiaoyao left Hanga Pass. He had been traveling through the starry sky. After obtaining the complete space scroll, Jun Xiaoyao was extremely proficient in the way of space. The way of space and the extreme speed of the Kunpeng made Jun Xiaoyao's speed dozens of times faster than some starry sky flying ships. I'm already very far from the Emperor's Road of the Huangtian mystic realm. Haven't I reached the Dragon Gate yet? Jun Xiaoyao murmured. Along the way, he recalled the story of Lao Tzu leaving Hanga Pass. The last pass of the Emperor's Road was also called Hanga Pass. Could it be that Lao Tzu on Earth had passed through this starry sky, Emperor's Road, and left behind a faintly discernible legend? Shaking his head slightly, Jun Xiaoyao settled his thoughts. At this time, there was a faint sound of people in front of him. Jun Xiaoyao looked over and saw a dense crowd of talented cultivators traveling through the starry sky ahead. There were people of all races, wearing strange clothes and different auras. It was obvious that not all of these cultivators were from the Huangtian mystic realm. There were also many who came from the Emperor's Road of other immortal domains. Farther away, there was an incomparably vast bronze door. The bronze gate was tens of thousands of feet tall, and it stood in the depths of the universe. It exuded an ancient, desolate aura, and on the surface of the bronze gate, there were many lifelike, true dragons carved on it. Under the refraction of the starlight, it seemed to be alive. This is the Dragon Gate, Jun Xiaoyao muttered to himself. Dragon's Gate was derived from a meaning of carp leaping over the Dragon's Gate. Could he cross the Emperor Road? A heavenly son who had reached the Dragon Gate? All of them were outstanding talents. They were like carps. Once they crossed the Dragon Gate, they would have the opportunity to transform into dragons. Of course, in the end, whether one would become a dragon or a corpse buried on the ancient path would depend on one's strength and luck. At this moment, what about the geniuses who had arrived at the Dragon Gate? One by one, they stepped into it. Every time a cultivator steps in, the Dragon Gate would light up with the radiance of the Great Tao. There were some people who could trigger a radiance that reached a height of several hundred feet. Some people, it could cause the radiance of the Great Tao to spread for thousands of feet. Dragon Gate, it was not just a door to the ultimate ancient road. It was also an ancient weapon that had the ability to preliminarily test the talent and strength of a Sky Pride. Depending on the level of talent, the Great Path brilliance would be different. Generally speaking, Sky Prides who were at the level of a small powerhouse would be able to trigger 1,000 feet Great Path brilliance. In front of the Dragon Gate, there were also many Sky Prides who were not in a hurry to step in. Instead, they were sizing up the Sky Prides who stepped in. TSK. I heard that some time ago, a saint of the Gulen sect stepped into the Dragon Gate and triggered a 50,000 feet Great Path brilliance. What? 50,000 feet? Doesn't that mean it's comparable to 5 small powerhouses? A cultivator said in surprise. That's nothing. Have you heard of the reincarnated ancient Buddha of the Western Paradise sect, Lord Brahma, in the Shintian immortal domain? I've heard about it too. That Lord Brahma is so terrifying that he triggered a 20,000 feet great path brilliance accompanied by a Buddhist light. It's a taboo among taboos. Some cultivators were talking about the outlawed sky prides with a look of reverence in their eyes. Those who could trigger a 10,000 feet great path brilliance were comparable to outlawed sky prides. A 20,000 feet great path brilliance was a taboo among taboos. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was as calm as still water when he heard the sky pride's discussion. As expected, all kinds of monsters have appeared in this era of great battles. But that's all there is to it. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head slightly and did not care. His invincible Taoist heart had long been unshakable. He did not even care about the heavens, let alone these young sky prides. Hey, who's that? He's covered in immortal light and has a profound aura. Some cultivators also noticed Jun Xiaoyao. After all, Jun Xiaoyao's temperament was too extraordinary. His body was shrouded in immortal light and surrounded by Buddhist light. He stood out like a crane among chickens. Anyone could guess that he was definitely not a simple person. Could it be another small powerhouse? The direction he's coming from seems to be the Huangtian immortal domain. It's the Huangtian immortal domain. Recently, news of the Huangtian immortal domain has spread throughout the ancient road. That's the ancient anomaly, right? I heard that he's the son of God of the Jun family, a family of the clan of the ancients. At the mention of the Huangtian immortal domain, many cultivators from other immortal domains began to talk incessantly. There were not many sky prides from the Huangtian immortal domain present. Most of the sky prides from the Huangtian immortal domain had gathered at Hanga Pass and had not yet set off. Jun Xiaoyao could be considered the earliest sky pride from the Huangtian immortal domain to set foot on the ancient road of the ultimate path. Who is that young master? His temperament is extraordinary. There were also female cultivators whose eyes were shining as they asked curiously. Many gazes fell on Jun Xiaoyao. Jun Xiaoyao was used to it. His expression was indifferent as he walked towards the Dragon Gate. Guess how many feet of great path light that sky pride from the Huangtian immortal domain will attract? At least a small powerhouse at the level of 10,000 feet. That aura is too profound. Jun Xiaoyao's actions undoubtedly attracted attention from all directions. Jun Xiaoyao was half a step into the Dragon Gate. In an instant, the originally silent Dragon Gate began to rumble and tremble. The great path light began to surge violently and soared to 10,000 feet in an instant. What? An outlawed sky pride of 10,000 feet. All the sky pride from the immortal domain's Emperor Road were extremely shocked when they saw this scene. Even an outlawed sky pride could not attract 10,000 feet of great path light when they were half a step into the ancient road of the ultimate path. Unless this person was a taboo among taboos. Jun Xiaoyao continued to move forward and stepped into the Dragon Gate with one foot. The great path light emitted by the Dragon Gate also soared like a geyser. 20,000 feet, 50,000 feet, 100,000 feet, 200,000 feet. In the end, it soared to 10,000 feet. An incomparably dazzling beam of light soared from the Dragon Gate and illuminated the entire dark and lonely universe. The entire ancient road of the ultimate path could see this dazzling light. All the sky prides outside the Dragon Gate were stunned. An outlawed sky pride was 10,000 feet. 20,000 feet was a taboo among taboos. What was 10,000 feet worth? However, before these sky prides could recover from their shock, Jun Xiaoyao's other foot stepped into the Dragon Gate again. At this time, the great path light emitted by the Dragon Gate could no longer be accurately measured. It was as if it had illuminated all 3,000 universes. At the same time, the lifelike true dragon carved on the Dragon Gate began to awaken. In the end, a total of 100 dragon-shaped shadows emerged from the Dragon Gate. They roared into the sky and shook the entire ancient road of the ultimate path. It was as if they were giving a salute to the birth of a king. Chapter 599. All the prodigies around the Dragon Gate held their breaths as they stared blankly at the shocking scene before them. Their minds buzzed in disbelief. The young master, shrouded in immortal light before them, could not be measured by the word forbidden. He was simply a one-of-a-kind existence. The immeasurable radiance of the great path and the cries of 100 dragons. Even those great emperors or ancient emperors would not be able to cause such a phenomenon when they stepped onto the Dragon Gate ancient road. Some of the prodigies recalled that he came from the direction of the Huangtian mystic realm. In an instant, some of them reacted. Their eyes widened and protruded, and their scalps tingled. Could it be that person? The surrounding prodigies all thought of the person who had triggered the mystic realm's will and fought against the heavens. The anomaly of the ancient era, Jun Xiaoyao. Just as everyone was about to react, Jun Xiaoyao's figure had completely disappeared from the Dragon Gate. He had been transported to the ancient road of ultimate. The commotion caused by the Dragon Gate not only shocked the prodigies around it, it also shocked the entire ancient road of ultimate. No matter which corner of the ancient road of ultimate, one could see the endless radiance of the great path released by the Dragon Gate. The cries of the 100 dragons also spread throughout the ancient road of ultimate. In a mysterious area filled with immortal chi on the ancient road of ultimate, a figure with a transcendent aura, surrounded by 8 strands of immortal chi, sat cross-legged in the void. Beside him was a half-illusory figure of a woman in green. She was like a projection. The two of them were talking about something. At that moment, the transcendent figure sensed some abnormality. A pair of immortal eyes looked into the void in the distance. "It's him. He has stepped onto the ancient road of ultimate," the figure said calmly. "If he steps onto the ancient road of ultimate, no one can stop him," the projection of the woman in green said. Upon closer inspection, the woman in green was Ji Qingyi. "He killed my follower and didn't care at all. I can't let him off so easily." Although this transcendent figure was smiling faintly, the temperature of the surrounding area suddenly dropped. Ji Qingyi's projection was silent for a moment. Then she said, "Before you have full confidence, you'd better not meet him." "Oh, what do you mean? Am I inferior to him?" The transcendent figure's tone turned cold. "That's not it. It's just that there's no need to fight to the death with someone who is destined to never be able to prove his Tao." Ji Qingyi's eyes flashed with a dark light. "Ha! My constitution and his." Since both of them were ranked in the top 10 of the 3,000 physiques, they could compete with each other. "You don't need to persuade him anymore," the transcendent figure said coldly. In another place, Ji Qingyi opened her eyes. Disperse the projection? A deep look appeared in his eyes. The humanoid divine body, which is best at cultivating and using divine chi, versus the sacred body of the ancients, which has unparalleled divine strength. I wonder who will win. "Jun Xiaoyao, will you disappoint me?" A faint smile appeared on Ji Qingyi's face under the veil. She was from a human immortal sect, the helper of the dual immortal physique. But Ji Qingyi, hidden very well, he seemed to have his own plans. In another realm, inside the ancient heavenly palace, the outlawed sky pride of the supreme Xian Ting, Gu Tizi, had sensed this unusual phenomenon. A look of contemplation flashed in his eyes. Then he said coldly, "Even if you're amazing for ages, but if you can't get the approval of the heavenly path, it's all for naught. Whether it's you, Jun Xiaoyao, or the Jun family behind you, it's a fool's dream to rule the immortal realm." With the supreme Xian Ting strength, it was not difficult to find out who the ancient anomaly was. Moreover, the news that Jun Xiaoyao was the ancient anomaly had already spread from the Huangtian immortal realm's imperial road to the ultimate ancient road. Therefore, Gu Tizi also knew. The ancient anomaly was from the Jun family. Gu Tizi did not have a good impression of the Jun family. After all, the Jun family had once wanted to replace the supreme Xian Ting and rule the immortal realm. In a blessed place filled with dense spiritual chi and shining with immortal light. The glamorous figure shrouded in a vast immortal light sensed the energy too. The light of the Great Path is endless, and hundreds of dragons roar together. As expected of the ancient anomaly, another record has been broken. The beautiful figure's voice sounded faintly like the sound of nature. Jun Xiaoyao, I heard that he's an immortal-like figure. It's time to investigate. It could be said that as soon as Jun Xiaoyao stepped into the Dragon's Gate, he attracted the attention of all the sky prides of the entire ancient road. Among them, there was no lack of outlawed sky prides, imperial road kings, and other existences. According to the Dark Forest law, Jun Xiaoyao was already a torch in the dark night. He was simply a target that was noticed by all the opponents hiding in the dark. However, Jun Xiaoyao himself did not care. Only prey would be afraid of being discovered. A real hunter would wait for his prey to come to him, accompanied by a distortion of space. All the surrounding celestial bodies seemed to flash around Jun Xiaoyao at the speed of light. It felt like an instant, but also like 100 years. Jun Xiaoyao's figure appeared in a vast and lonely starry sky. Is this the ancient road of ultimate? Jun Xiaoyao looked into the distance and saw nothing but the boundless universe of stars. It was different from the 18 stages of the Emperor Road. The ancient road of ultimate was formed by 108 ancient stars, which could also be seen as 108 stages. The paths were connected to each other, forming a vast and endless ancient road of ultimate trial. Among the 108 ancient stars, some were prosperous life stars, some were cultivation stars with rich great paths, and some were dangerous forbidden lands. There are also dead stars, cursed stars, extinct stars, and so on. Among the ancient stars, there are all kinds of space bandits, chaotic astral sea, star-devouring ancient beasts, and ancient races. This road was 10,000 times more dangerous than the Emperor Road. This is interesting. Jun Xiaoyao was not afraid at all. Instead, there was a hint of anticipation in his eyes. At this moment, the system's mechanical voice sounded in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have arrived at the check-in location. Do you want to sign in? Sign in, Jun Xiaoyao said. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have received the 7-star award, the Supreme Superpower, Heavenly Death Wheel. As the voice fell, a wave of information flowed into Jun Xiaoyao's mind. The Heavenly Death Wheel controlled life and death on behalf of the gods and operated the heavens. Life and death were only between a single hand. Heavenly Death Wheel. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed with a strange light. At his current level, some of the superpowers that he had used before, such as the Human Ruler Seal, the Combatant Formula, and so on, were indeed not enough. The martial arts superpowers that he used the most now were the 6 Paths of Reincarnation Fist, the Thunder Emperor's superpower, the Kuan Peng superpower, his self-created Origin Dao superpower, and so on. The Heavenly Death Wheel could enrich his attack methods. Moreover, this divine ability sounded extremely awesome. It had a domineering intent to control life and death on behalf of the gods in the heavens. Perhaps I can use this superpower to comprehend the intent of life and death and condense the next immortal chi. Jun Xiaoyao thought. He was very satisfied with this 7-star award. At this moment, the mechanical voice sounded in his mind again. Ding! Congratulations to the host. The new check-in location has been refreshed. Please sign in at the end of the Ancient Road. Chapter 600. The End of the Ancient Road. Jun Xiaoyao murmured without any change in his expression. That was the place he would definitely reach. I've been checking in for so long, but there are no 9-star or 10-star awards. Is it time for me to be lucky next time? Jun Xiaoyao shook his head and smiled. Up until now, the highest star level he had received was an 8-star award. If the 7-star and 8-star rewards were already so rare and powerful, how rare would the 9-star and 10-star rewards be? They might be rare mystical powers or mystical items. Of course, this was a matter of probability. Jun Xiaoyao couldn't control it. I just hope this system won't be like a certain factory in my previous life, where the probability of getting a high-star reward was only a few tenths of a %, Jun Xiaoyao also joked. Next, Jun Xiaoyao also thought about what he would do next. The next goal is to continue condensing immortal chi. The second goal is to accumulate foundation and break through to the Saint King level, Jun Xiaoyao thought. He wasn't used to breaking through level by level. If he wanted to break through, he would do it to his heart's content. Breaking through halfway was the most uncomfortable. Although Jun Xiaoyao had the foundation left by the divine fetus, it wasn't enough for him to break through a few levels in a row. After becoming a saint, it was difficult to break through a small level, let alone break through to the great perfection stage. Even a genius like Jun Xiaoyao would need to accumulate some resources and use all kinds of treasures to reach such a level. Then, Jun Xiaoyao continued to step on the ancient road alone. Compared to the Emperor Road of the Huangtian Immortal Realm, the ancient road was obviously more desolate. However, because this was the ultimate road where the 9 heavens immortal realms gathered from time to time, some starry sky flying ships could be seen crossing it, or some cultivators flying on strange beasts. They didn't get close to Jun Xiaoyao. They each went their own way and were very vigilant. Even the geniuses of the same immortal realm who walked on the Emperor Road would be wary of each other and even fight to the death. Not to mention the geniuses of the other immortal realms, their hostility and vigilance would only be stronger. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. Jun Xiaoyao continued to move forward. He didn't even reach the first ancient star on the ancient road. This ancient ultimate road is much longer than the Emperor's Road in the Huangtian mystic realm, Jun Xiaoyao muttered to himself. At this moment, he suddenly stopped in his tracks and said indifferently, "You've been following me for a few days. What do you want?" In the depths of the starry sky behind them, a fat man in a yellow robe walked forward with an awkward smile on his face. He had a fat belly and a chubby face. "Greetings, young master." The fatty cupped his hands. "What is it?" Jun Xiaoyao asked calmly. "I'm Lu Rinjia from the profound heaven immortal domains heaven's secret pavilion. Young master, you can just call me Little Lu. I like to make good friends the most." Looking at young master's ethereal aura, he had the bearing of an immortal. He must be an extraordinary figure. I wonder if I have the fortune to meet him. Did this fatty named Lu Rinjia just flatter him? Meng Bin's small eyes glowed. Tianji's sect? Even though it wasn't an undying power, however, he was still quite famous in the mystic heaven celestial realm. "Sorry, I'm not interested in a passerby." Jun Xiaoyao turned to leave. Lu Rinjia said, "Young master, are you going to the 10th stage to participate in the Assembly of Geniuses?" Jun Xiaoyao paused and asked, "What's that?" Lu Rinjia smiled and said, "Young master, you don't know? The geniuses of the 9 emperors' roads will gather. It's inevitable that some geniuses who have treasures that they can't use will exchange with others. In the 10th stage of the ancient road, the Shangqiu ancient star is considered the most prosperous ancient star at the beginning of the ancient road. The business alliance of 10,000 clans will hold an assembly of geniuses there, where all kinds of rare treasures can be exchanged." Lu Rinjia's words? Jun Xiaoyao's eyes flashed. Didn't he have more than 100 seals of proving of way that he couldn't use? Instead of wasting them, he might as well exchange them for treasures that could help him break through his cultivation level. Seeing that Jun Xiaoyao seemed to be tempted, Lu Rinjia continued, "At the Assembly of Geniuses, many treasures may appear, such as divine gold, elixirs of immortality, and even elixir fragments." Jun Xiaoyao was surprised. That was unexpected. He didn't expect that there would even be elixir fragments. Anything related to immortals was extremely precious, such as the blood of a remnant immortal and the deity fetus. Of course, even the rarest seals of proving of way can be traded. Lu Rinjia exclaimed. Jun Xiaoyao simply smiled and let it go. He didn't lack seals of proving of way. "You know quite a lot," Jun Xiaoyao said. "Of course. The Heaven Secret Sect is an intelligence organization in the Xiantian mystic realm," Lu Rinjia said with a big belly. Seeing that Lu Rinjia was still useful, Jun Xiaoyao didn't mind bringing him along. Lu Rinjia rubbed his hands and asked if he was an overlord. Jun Xiaoyao shook his head. Seeing this, Lu Rinjia was a little disappointed, but he did not show it. Lu Rinjia relaxed and patted Jun Xiaoyao on the shoulder as he said, "Haha, buddy, Just follow Brother Lu, and you'll have a lot of meat to eat. Jun Xiaoyao was speechless. He asked Jun Xiaoyao to call him Little Lu just now. Now, he had become Brother Lu. However, Jun Xiaoyao didn't lie to Lu Rinjia. He was indeed not an overlord, not even an outlawed sky pride. He was an anomaly that couldn't be measured. Next, the two of them went on their way. Jun Xiaoyao didn't feel bored with this fatty around to relieve his boredom. Lu Rinjia started talking nonstop from south to north. By the way, the most prosperous Archean royalty force in the Shantian mystic realm is the Sun God Mountain. Once the 10 crown princes show up, who can beat them? Lu Rinjia said. Sun God Mountain. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes dimmed. It seemed that his follower, Yu's clan, was destroyed by the Sun God Mountain. The Sun God Mountain is the top overlord of the Shantian mystic realm. They started the Immortal War and destroyed the ancient Emperor clan, the clan, and then attacked the Moon God Palace. They were arrogant and domineering. Lu Rinjia said. Jun Xiaoyao was deep in thought. He had promised to avenge Yu. Now, it seemed that he had the chance. Sun God Mountain, the 10 princes of Jinwu. Jun Xiaoyao's lips curled into a faint smile. About half a year had passed since then. Jun Xiaoyao and Lu Rinjia had passed through 7 or 8 ancient life planets. They were finally close to the 10th level, the Shang Qiu ancient star. Naturally, there were many dangers during this period. There were all kinds of void forbidden zones, cruel demonic bandits, and alien races in the universe. However, Jun Xiaoyao single-handedly overcame all these dangers. Regardless of how dumb Lu Rinjia was, he knew that Jun Xiaoyao was definitely a formidable figure after all. No wonder you said you're not an overlord. So you're an outlawed sky pride. Lu Rinjia's attitude toward Jun Xiaoyao became respectful again. He changed from Brother Lu to Little Lu. Jun Xiaoyao, on the other hand, did not mind such minor details. As they approached the Shang Qiu ancient star, the number of people around them increased. Some powerful sky prides were using ancient beasts to pull their carriages. Some sky prides were riding on phoenixes. All kinds of ships and starships were converging toward the Shang Qiu ancient star. I must exchange for a treasure that can condense immortal chi at this sky pride assembly. Hee, I'm here to meet the goddess Lane's fairy maiden Yuan. Yeah, I heard that fairy maiden Yuan is good at dancing. Her graceful dance of the goddess of Luo could mesmerize all living beings. Some sky prides were talking around them. It's quite lively here. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was calm. After walking in the desolate universe for so long, it was not bad to come to a place with people occasionally. At this moment, there was a sudden surge of magical power in front of them, and the light of a divine ability spread out. A petite figure was very agile. Like a rabbit, she leaped in the void. Behind her, there were 4 extremely powerful figures chasing after her. One of the figures, who had the back of a tiger and the waist of a bear, was like a demonic mountain. He shouted, "We, the 8 minor saints, are here to hunt down our prey. Everyone else, back off." As he spoke, he waved his hand and slapped a sky pride who was near them into a bloody pulp. Hiss! Could it be 4 of the 8 minor saints of the far ancient imperial family? Lu Rinjia took a deep breath. His eyes were filled with fear. The 8 minor saints of the far ancient imperial family? Jun Xiaoyao was confused. Young master, you may not know this, but they are 8 powerful sky prides of the far ancient imperial family. They are all on the giant list and are very powerful. Lu Rinjia said. At this moment, the petite figure happened to be fleeing towards them. Let's go. Jun Xiaoyao's expression was calm. On the ultimate ancient road, such a thing was very common. Jun Xiaoyao was not the kind of person who would lend a helping hand when he saw injustice. Just as Jun Xiaoyao and the others were about to leave, the 4 far ancient imperial family elites had already closed in on them. I told you to get lost, but you didn't. You're blocking the way. The man with the back of a tiger and the waist of a bear casually waved his hand. It was as if a black sky was falling down. Lu Rinjia was so scared that his face turned pale. The fat on his face trembled. Jun Xiaoyao's eyes were cold.